Well, actually, before we get to the board, I would like to officially hear. So Sconset Advisory did review this, correct?
Yes, sir. Sconset Advisory did take a look at this on April 5th. They did say that, you know, it's a very simple and low form. They like the general massing and scale. The overall concern was the glazing. There was a concern or a question on whether or not the visibility from the floor to the eave. There's a comment on the chimney itself, the material, concern on the scale, concern on the front door, very discouraged as far as having this glass connector with the French doors. May not be visible, but it might be as well. So overall, it was more of the glazing as a concern. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Yes, Steve.
Would you take it up 3 notches, please?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
I can't read it.
That doesn't need to be a point of order. You can just make that request.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Are we ready for a review of this, folks?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Who wants to start? Was that you, Diane?
I will.
I did say yes.
Okay.
So I think the east is going to be the front elevation. I would like to see the proposal of the windows where the 3 French doors are. And if that is the front door with the 2 windows, one on each side, I think that the trim around the front door should be made heavier than that. That does not catch my eye as a front door for the location that this house is in. So I would like to see that, which is the 3 French doors and the front door on the east elevation. If I could drop down to the next one. Come. I don't know why. It seems that the windows on the 2nd floor or the 2nd floor itself is such a distance from the 1st floor. I wondered if they couldn't come down. It's
bigger.
It's much more than what we usually have, and it doesn't look well to me. I don't know whether those are mulled windows underneath the little addition or whatever it is. There are, it's either 2, 4 of the 4s. They should be split and to cover that addition totally. The chimney should be made, if it's going to be kept, should be made into a regular chimney with it coming in and going up and being covered with what we usually have as chimneys here. The big square does not, I don't think is appropriate. The bottom one, if you could make it a little larger, it would be easier to read what it was. That's the south elevation. That is simple enough. Again, the double French doors. I would just put a single, no reason. I don't know where that goes, but you got 3, 6, 7, 8 windows in the left-hand side of the building. I would reduce it, put windows in and a door in the middle, and the same under the deck. And the deck is connected to what? Is it on a flat roof?
Shall I answer, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so on that elevation, if we go back to the south elevation, that is a proposed 2nd floor deck that's between, if you go right to the middle of the drawing, but that's on the west side, so it would not be visible because it's set back so far from the right-hand side of this drawing, but that is correct. That is a proposed second floor deck.
Okay.
Okay, but not visible, you say?
That's correct.
Okay, let's see the bottom one. The bottom elevation is the west elevation, and what you're saying that we're not going to see that west elevation?
You won't see anything on this. This faces straight back from the front of the lot. And you can see right there, if you look over there on the site plan, none of this would be visible. It's the back of the house
Okay.
facing back.
Then that is, for the moment, what I have to say about the front and the sides you do see. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Okay.
Chip.
Thanks, Diane. Val, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
I appreciate the massing hugely. I agree with Diane. I think what's happened with the second floor windows, I'm starting on the east, is that they're kind of floating, so maybe those should be bigger. Definitely eliminate the French doors, the bank of doors there on the front. And in terms of anything on the back, I do think it's way over fenestrated and over doored. I think maybe you could make it a little bit simpler by eliminating the dormers with the transoms over that living room area. You don't really need it with all of the glass you have there on all the sides. You could put maybe some windows, a window in the gables to get overhead light, but I think that could make it even simpler. And I'm just wondering about, I know we're not going to see it, but I kind of want to understand it. The rear of the house, is that like a sunken pit to the basement that has like a, you walk down some stairs, there's tiered landscaping, and then
That's, yes, yes, Val, correct. That is
Okay.
stairs down into the basement from the rear, correct.
And is that all glass too?
Are you talking about once you get down to the basement?
Yeah.
We can dot that in. There's some doors and windows at the basement level. We just don't have them in this drawing, which we could add.
Yeah. I just wanted to try and understand it.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, but
and
you're
there's no
absolutely correct.
railing.
It's a stair that goes down to the base. There you go, right there.
Right. But you don't need railing, Chip?
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. We don't want people falling down there, so we'll look at railings.
Okay. That's
So
all I
the-
have.
All right. Thanks, Val. Abby?
Oh, yeah, no, I agree with everybody on that east elevation. If that's on the street, 3 sets of French doors are inappropriate. That is the east. And yes, with that north elevation, I don't understand, like nothing lines up. Why is that? Like your little side door doesn't line up with the gang windows above. And while we're on that fenestrated north elevation, I think it's a little awkward. It looks like they look like eyes up there. I think if they were reversed and the 2 windows were on the first floor and the single was up in a dormer, it might read less top heavy. But is this an upside down house or something, or?
No, it's not an upside down house. It's that second floor. The reason those windows are higher that everyone's noticed, because those are bedrooms, so we try to get the windows up above the beds. That's why they're reading higher than everyone's noticing that. So yeah, those banks of windows there. So we can look at that, obviously, and then your point on that middle door not quite lining up, I think that's probably something we could adjust to. So we'll look at both of those items.
Yeah, and then the other window there doesn't line up with the one above. Seems like such a simple thing, but that's what I have. Thanks.
Okay, Abby, thanks. John?
Yes, sir, thank you. I find the house is so inimical to the immediate surroundings. All right, is you got these French doors running around it. They call it French doors. It's too much of it. It's just overextending it. You gotta change the front door to a typical front door because you have two doors, and the too many sliders on the whole thing. You got to redesign and resubmit. This is real bad for the immediate neighborhood. It's so out of character. Just leave it at that. Takes a lot of changes to match what's out there, and this doesn't match anything that's there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Agree with most of what's been, pretty much everything that's been said, particularly Diane's observation about the amount of space between the sills of the windows on the second floor and the heads of the windows on the first floor, which is visible on the east elevation, but really glaringly apparent. I think it was on the north elevation. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of space there. I understand about the beds and all that, but something has to be done. Either that the whole eave needs to be pulled down, or the windows need to be made bigger, or both. I too do not like the transoms in that single story mass that has the big chimney in front of it. I'll leave it at that. So I think we can probably get some revisions on this one, folks.
Can I make a motion to hold for revisions?
That would be great, Diane. Thank you. So Diane's made a motion to hold for some revisions on that motion. Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Diane?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Now I think I'm up next, or we're up next. I just have to look at, oh yeah, so obviously I'm going to step off of this, but Lisa has a couple. I think she's up.
Yep.
So I'm going to mute for a little while. Diane, if you can take it from here, that would be great.
Yeah, I can
everybody.
indeed. So
So,
which one are you
Kathy,
going
did
to
you
start
say
with?
something? Sorry.
14. We've done that, but we'll do it again.
Yep.
So tell
This
us what's going on.
this is the one-story studio that's going in the back of the property. You've already approved the house and the main house, or excuse me, the house and the garage, and this is this one-story studio that we're putting in the back of the property. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's actually a dwelling. It was called a studio, but it's going to end up being, we're going to go for a second dwelling. It's pretty
Okay.
straightforward.
So that,
It faces, towards the French doors do face towards Highland. And the garage is parallel to it and kind of in front of it. If you look back at the site plan, those masses align. Yep.
okay. So,
Madam Chair.
Val, would you like to begin? Yes. Oh, you got something
Just-
from HASCAB?
Yeah, no, just for the record, HSAB did take a look at this on beginning of April, and they have no concerns. They appreciated it.
Great. So, Val, would you like to begin?
Sure. I really appreciate the stature and that it's behind the garage. If we're going to call it a second dwelling, then I'm going to say we need a front door. But in and of itself, as a studio, I find it okay.
Then I guess we should call it a studio.
So,
yeah,
uh,
no place
Abby.
to put a front door.
I have no concerns.
okay, and Johnny,
Yes, I only have one concern. I think that you got to find out exactly which one is going to be the front door and not double doors. Most homes or whatever have single doors, one in the back, one in the front. So I'm just saying it. Yeah, eliminate one of those and put another double hung window in there. Thank you. It's visible.
Okay. One,
Yeah, I don't know if this is.
so
Should I wait
Would
for
you
you to
like-
speak, Diane?
to make a, huh?
Can
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
would you like me to wait
No,
for
I
you to
just
speak?
wondered, has everybody? No, I go along. I think that it has answered all the questions that I had. So I was just going to ask for a motion. If we had a
Diane?
motion to approve.
Diane, you need to pull in one of your,
Yes,
you need to pull in one of your alternates.
okay, Stephen, what do you say? He
Nothing
doesn't
to
say
add.
anything.
Nothing to add.
Nothing
Thank you,
to
Madam
add.
Chair.
Okay,
I'll make a motion
can
to
I
approve
get a motion?
in that
As
it's a second dwelling and doesn't really need like a front door, and it's also not visible. So I don't think there's need for any revisions. So I'd like to approve it as is.
Thank you very much. Val,
Well, now I'm struggling. Now it's a second dwell, and we've made all this reference to it being a second dwelling. We generally need a front door. So I agree with John. Maybe we could make one of them be a front door.
I'd rather just not refer to it as a second dwelling. I mean, it's really not addressing the street. It's not meant to be like a cottage that addresses the road. It's set way back on the property. That's not the intent of it. So I'd rather just call it a studio.
But it will be seen.
It will be seen, but it's sort of like an outbuilding. It's like, it will be kind of look like a pool cabana, although they don't have a pool.
Yeah.
So, the idea is not to make it look like a dwelling, so to speak, it's meant to look like an outbuilding. So if that nomenclature messes that up, I'm happy to eliminate that.
okay, so we're going at it as being, yes. Who was saying?
Sorry, do you want me to withdraw
If we
my
look at
motion?
it. No, you put the motion in, let's see if it flies. Do you want to put in that approve as submitted, or do you want to,
Yeah,
put it
I'm
in
fine with it
as,
as is. I don't see it
uh,
as needing a front door. It's like I see main dwellings as needing a front door. I see this as like almost a cabana kind of thing.
Exactly.
So.
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's try that then. Stephen,
I'm an aye for the poolless cabana, front
Okay,
doorless
very good, thank you.
structure.
Johnny,
Yes. I'm here.
okay, what is your idea of vote on this? To approve it as submitted?
I think I can't go with it. You got to change one of those double doors. It reeks up the neighborhood. You don't want to start a precedent up there. Especially with these type of doors.
Okay, and so, thank you. Your is a nay. Val,
I think I'd like to see a front door as well, so I'm a no.
Is that because it's a studio versus a
okay,
dwelling? I mean, because it's a dwelling versus a studio, Val.
so, I will go with a studio. I will vote yay. So that's 3-2 with it passing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And the next one now is 121 Matticat Road, a pool and a spa. Would you, that's you again, Lisa.
Yeah, it's me again. So this is a in-ground pool, 20 by 50 with an auto cover and an 8 by 8 spa on the back side of the house. So on the opposite side of the house from Nantucket Road. I think if you guys remember the, and I'm sure you do, the HGC process with some of the changes to the house, I think we established that the basement of this building was hard, it was impossible to see from Cliff Road. And obviously from the Nantucket Road, the building screens the pool. So the pool is at the level of the basement.
I think for me, Lisa, when I looked at this, I just wanted more information. We don't have any, photos or materials necessarily called out or spelled out with pictures, which is something we require from everybody. So if we had that information, I think we could approve it.
Okay, like just the terrace is probably going to be bluestone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just need more information like we usually get. And there's no walls.
We would like a drawing of the,
Of the what?
and we would, where, are there walls around it?
There are
What's
walls.
on the side? We need more information on the pool itself.
Okay, there were walls that were, I
We
believe.
need to see it in conjunction with the pool.
The walls that show
Well,
up on the site
We
plan?
would like, we have a motion.
Okay.
I believe we would like more information about the pool with the drawing, incorporating the pool into the thing, and because we have quite a drop on the elevation of the soil. So that would be Val's motion. So
I wasn't necessarily
Abby.
making a motion because everybody else hasn't spoken. I was just telling Lisa what
Oh.
would make me feel better about approving it as if we had everything.
What
And
Lisa?
and I'm happy to give more information, but I think you said more information about the pool and the thing. I'm not sure what the thing is. Do you want a section through the building showing an elevation and section through the pool?
I didn't say that.
I'm trying to understand the more information because the retaining walls do show up here on the plan.
So we're not trying to be jerks. We're just
No, I
trying
know
to.
that. I just want a list of what you're looking for. I know you
We
want.
generally get, little photos to the side of bluestone patio. Here's the retaining wall. You've already gotten a lot of the retaining approved. If we just
Right.
had a previous approval, attached to it. It's just hard to remember what the back of that looked like. And you're right, you can't see it. I wouldn't even be adverse to doing it through staff if we had all the information in the file.
Well, I can certainly get all that stuff for you. I do have photos from the back, but I can get all that stuff together. I just wanted to make sure I had a list of what you felt like was missing.
Okay, let me get Abby. Abby?
Yeah, sorry, Lisa, we're just talking about the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, because for me, I like to see the hardscaping, the what's going on. We know it's a huge drop off there, so I want to see more information about that. So I'm a more information person.
Yeah, so just, I think a side section might make sense, cut through the pool, looking back towards the house.
Yeah, this is a delicate one. I think we want to get this right. So I would like to see more information in order to give my approval. So I would vote for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie?
I agree. I think it would be helpful to see the rest of the information.
Okay, thank you. Johnny,
Yes, there's a 5-foot drop between the rear of the house and the top of the pool. There's a 5-foot difference, but whether it's visible is a question that I find, and I can't, on the left side here, I can't see the aerial photo of the property, the where it is on the lot, the whole lot. Can you bring
Right.
up that thing on the
Right.
left?
You mean where the pool
so
is? Or do
maybe
you want
we
to see
should
the,
have a motion.
oh, never mind.
Wait a
We'd
minute,
like to see the
Mr. Chairman,
whole site plan. Yes,
all I asked was to bring that green on the left side and the area showing where the lot is compared to the other lots.
I think he wants to
right.
see.
I,
the low-
I understand. Well,
There's no plan showing which lot it is.
right. I don't know. I have the same thing as you do. My site plan disappears after the blue pond. So maybe we can get a motion for some revisions, more information. What would you like to choose?
Yeah, could I just say something that I'd like to see so she doesn't have to come back so many times? One of the problems with this site, if this is the one I'm thinking of, that this is the one you can see from Cliff Road when you're looking back over the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the,
So-
the locust map, yeah.
So in this particular site, I'd also like to see how the vegetation is going to work, because the pool is going to allow you to see this house even more, if I'm correct.
No.
So,
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure, because already you can see so much of it down to the first floor. So I'm a little worried about what that pool is going to do as you look back from Cliff Road. So I would like to see, the landscaping as well. I think it's very important for this application.
Yeah.
So shall we hold?
Why don't I
for
get more
revision?
information together? Maybe you should
More
put it on a to-do list. I will remind you guys that when we went through for the changes to the main house, I think it was established that seeing the basement level, which is the level that this pool is at, was not visible. But I think a view makes sense.
Absolutely. I think a view and, more information on, if you can do a cross section, that would be great. Make me a little more,
Yes, we can definitely do that.
thank you. So that's my motion.
Uh,
A view and-
Abby, do you want stakes out there to show where the pool is going to be? on the
That's
50
not
foot-
a bad idea. Stakes, but then those stakes doing where exactly, on all four corners or the front of the back of the pool, or?
I mean,
No, I think that,
my only question
I
about
think the back of the pool is important. So I would suggest perhaps we want to have them on the back of the pool, which tells how far they're going out on that falling landscape there and where the landscape is going to begin. I think that's
Yeah.
a view I think is important, and I think further information is probably the best. So I
Okay.
think that was your motion, right?
Yes.
So thank you. Tara, how about you? Do you go along with that?
Aye.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Abby, you are for yours.
I'm in-
Val is next. Val, what do you think?
I think we
Okay,
need more
John?
information.
yes, I have a comment. All right,
This is
Okay.
on the vote, yes, which
It's
is
not-
for more information and a view.
yeah, what I'm saying.
Is that good with you?
Yeah, I think you should put one stake with
Okay, what do you,
a pool in towards the house and one stake towards the road. A lot of land's being cleared right now there. They're clearing it all off. So you're gonna see a lot. So I would suggest they put up stakes and get a true shot of where it is and put the stake up at, say, 10-foot elevation, front and back.
Well, I think I should put the stakes at the height of the pool deck.
Right?
the
Yeah,
stake should go up, but he would like to have them up by the house, one up by the house and one at the end of the 50 feet.
right. But they're going to be, the top of the stake will be at the height that the pool deck is proposed at,
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
or the
So that-
retaining wall if there is one.
So,
Motion to hold for more information.
well, motion, okay. Val, are you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah.
That should get us as much information as possible, and I am also. So everybody okayed it, and thank you very much.
May I just make a comment?
Yeah.
I think just a simple picture of the building that's there and where the pool is going could clear the whole thing up.
You know, I have some
Okay.
photos on my desktop that I could share. But, I mean, I don't know that it's going to clear it up. I'm happy to, get you more information, but I do have photos from the cliff.
That would have been helpful from the
Well, I could-
beginning, but I think add them in and that will do it.
Yeah. I will
Okay,
make sure that they're printed and put in the application.
okay, thank you. So we'll see you soon. Thanks
Okay,
a lot.
thank you. Bye.
Okay. And the next one is
It's Val.
Val at 30 Cliff Road. So I turn it over back to you, Mr.
Thanks.
Chairman.
Yep. Okay. Carrie was sitting on that last application, so Stephen, you're on this one.
Is there any HSAB, Holly?
Are you gonna present, Val?
Yeah,
Sure.
I guess not. Okay.
So, go.
It's pretty straightforward. They want to change, I think attached to this is a little better presentation showing what the driveway is now, which is gravel. They'd like to change it to brick and make it a little bit wider. The front stoop is concrete. Actually, the stoops on the house all the way around are concrete, and they'd like to make those wood. And instead of a concrete path to the front door, they'd like to change that to brick.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
knowing what's up there
John.
for the last 100 years,
Okay,
I think the requested changes on the plan here match the neighborhood. And
Okay.
I myself, I'm all for approving it as it is submitted. Thank
all
you.
right, that's great. Thank you, but we want to hear from HSAB first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So of course, this is a circa 1820 cottage on the NHL. HSAB comments were the two adjacent driveways are a lot of brick, which is what you can see here in this photo. So maybe there's, something to work out with that existing fence on the existing neighbor's property. Their recommendations were to create a narrow planting strip for a separation from the neighbor's driveway, or maybe, figure out what to do with that. No concerns on the stoop change to, as well as the walkway to brick. So no other concerns on that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. Okay, so John's already spoken his piece. Who would like to go next?
I'll go if you want.
Thank you, Diane. Go ahead.
I think that doing the driveway over is fine. I have no problem with doing the concrete walkway up to the front door, because I don't think that is inconsistent with keeping up in the area. Is this Val, is this right next to house is Seven Gables?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
to the other side,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
driveway.
No, I just remember it going down that way. I think that it would fit in. It's 1800, very sundry. And I think over the years, they would have put in a brick driveway to be like the neighbors and a brick walkway. So I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Abby.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. I'm in favor of everything they're doing here.
Okay, great.
So
Uh,
moved. Yeah.
Well, let me just hear from Carrie first. Oh, it's actually Stephen. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yes.
Stephen? We have no Stephen.
I don't see him.
Okay. Carrie, you there?
What?
I'm here. I have nothing to add. I think it's good.
So basically, John has made a motion to approve as submitted. On that motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you. Abby.
Aye.
Diane.
Hi.
John, on your motion?
Yes.
Very good. And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Okay, Lisa Botticelli is back. And I'm muting again.
Hi, again.
Okay. God, I got so many papers here. Are you ready?
Yes,
Fire.
this is
Okay.
for a new structure behind an existing older house at 31 Low Beach Road. The house is set way back behind the existing structure. I think we looked at keeping the house sort of very simple. We felt like given the distance it is from the rear of the property that the simplicity of it of the structure worked. We included hipped roofs just because the front structure is hipped and has some hipped elements to it. Is that it? Oh, am I on the wrong one? Hold on. Oh, no, that's right. Sorry. Perfect. I think that's it. I mean, I just look forward to your comments. We think it's, a nice scale for the lot. And I do have some photos from the street and the neighboring streets, if anybody is interested in seeing them. I will not make that mistake again. But I can share. I thought Tammy had emailed them, but I'm not sure if she did, so I could pull them up on my screen.
Nope. The east is the front, right?
The south is the front.
South, okay.
Madam Chair, we do have
Yes.
Wisconsin advisory comments as well for your consideration.
Okay, do you want to read them off?
I can read them off. So the existing structure on the lot, for reference, is a circa 1860s dwelling called Lots of Additions. So glad that that's being obviously retained and kept on the lot. Comments, they reviewed this on April 5th. Good design. Feels like two front doors are in competition on that elevation. This is reading as a guest house in front of a main. It's kind of confusing. How are they related? Comment about the hip roof. Gable at the window header height. There's a question. Expand a front porch across the front. A glassed-in porch mimics the main house, which was good. But the overall comments were about the facade being confusing, but it was an overall nice house. But it did read as two houses with the two front doors. Overall, those are the comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will,
Would you like me to share my photos, Diane?
please, that would be good.
Okay, just so that you can see the visibility from certain locations. Hang on. How do I, oops, hold on. There we go. Desktop. Okay, so this is the visibility from Low Beach. So looking straight into the driveway, you'll be looking at the real front door of the house.
Okay,
And then the other part of the building is more behind this structure.
so that second door sort of disappears behind the existing structure, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And then this is also from Low Beach. And then I have some from Hawk Circle, which I think is this is looking across the neighboring property on Hawk Circle. That's their garage. And then
okay,
a lot back here. This would be looking towards the, just get my bearings, northeast, towards the east elevation of the house would be a Hawk Circle. So not a lot of visibility through there. And then I think, I already showed those. Canterbury Lane. I don't think you'll see anything from Canterbury.
okay.
And then there's Sleep Wing Circle.
Yeah, that's down there too.
Yeah, but again, I think also not a lot of visibility through the vegetation there.
In the vegetation, just to ask, I don't know that you would have the answer, but are they going to leave like the trees and stuff that are up, or are they going to strip the land going in?
You mean from Low Beach?
Yeah,
No, I don't think they have any intention of stripping the property. Let me just pull that
okay.
back. So like
They have some there that are fairly good size. This is an early picture.
this
they
was
haven't
taken
come up-
about a month ago.
right.
Yeah.
So
I
I
don't
just,
have any intention of removing those.
okay, super, thank you. So who would like to begin?
I would.
Well,
I'll do it.
Okay, Johnny.
Thank you. Is this for new dwelling?
Yes.
Okay. It has nothing to do with the one that you just showed. The one that's
No,
existing.
it's behind it. It's behind that house. That's the one that we just showed, which is where the cursor is.
Right. Okay. Could we go to the east elevation, please? There you go. Okay, could we go to the north elevation? West elevation, please. What's missing? Northeast, south elevation.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, that's what it is right there. South elevation. The door itself with 9 lights over one panel is not typical. So if they want lights, you can put in transom, or you can put in 2 lights or 4 lights on your top, and it'll match standard houses. But this one here with this big square box under the glass is not typical. I'd like to see that be replaced. Thank you.
Madam Chair, just to be clear, the idea was to do a Dutch door there. That's why it has the big panel and the glass on top.
okay, we'll go on. I think Val,
okay. I like it. I think it's very sconcy and cute. How come you're not doing 2/2 like the main house?
I'm not, I don't know. I mean, I guess we can ask that. I probably that they preferred the 6/, oh, it actually looks like they're 8/1s, don't they?
Well, yeah, but the pictures you just showed us of the house getting rehabbed have 2/2 up there. So
Correct.
the bulk of the house has 2/2. I was just curious. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other, but it would be really nice in the glassed in porch if those were the big floor pane. To sort of match the front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because on the east and west, those walls are like the closed in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Abby,
Yeah, I think it takes away from the historic house, this new proposed, and it looks like it goes lot line to lot line. And I'd like to see more details from the old house, like the peaked roof or the windows, or you know, it's got some odd things going on, that house. It's got some pretty funky stuff. And this looks, you know, like a perfect house. I'd like to see some more character put into it. HSAB, I believe, or Wisconsin Advisory or somebody, said that maybe a porch connecting the two porches together, making that one porch, sorry. I think that would pull the two massings together. I think that's a great idea. But I'm looking for more character like the old historic house. Thank you.
okay. Thank you. Stephen, I believe you're on this one.
Where is Stephen?
Even I don't believe is here.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
see.
Well, then maybe Carrie is around.
I am. I'm here.
Okay,
I tend to agree with Abby about tying the whole thing together. I think it's interesting that the dual doors are dueling with each other for
Mhm.
importance, because you so easily could have done French doors. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't, because we're all doing so many French doors and multiples that I think it's a really cute building. And I responding to Abby's comment about it should mimic more of the main house, it doesn't, this is far enough away on the property that I think it can have its own character, and it lets the main house be as quirky as it is without trying to pretend that it's, you know, old and whatever. It's a different beast altogether, but I think it's really successful. I do think the 2/2s might be worth looking at.
I think that's totally fine.
I
The
think that's just a
2/2s.
simple way to tie them together, but to let this thing have its own character and not be trying to be something it's not. But I do like the idea of tying the porches together somehow. I don't know how that's going to happen, but.
Madam Chairperson,
yes, John.
I have a comment. I missed something. Go to the south elevation, please.
It's right there.
Okay, now, when you see that window, they call them half floor windows. And the only reason you put a window at the half floor is because there's stairs going by it.
Mhm.
It's a little custom. And you have to either put it back up at the regular height or don't have a window there. And something should be done. It's an odd thing to have. That's all I'm saying. And it's going to look odd here, halfway up the floor. Thank you.
Okay. So, Carrie, were you finished?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I would just say, I would like to see the 3 windows on the left-hand side to be reduced to 2. I don't think that you need the 3 up there. I'm questionable about the 2 windows over on the other shed dormer, whether it should just be 3. I don't know what the confirmation of the room upstairs is. At giving an answer to what Johnny says, I do not have a problem with a light with a window going halfway up the stairs. I don't know. I don't find it unattractive, and I find it quite useful when you're inside. So it it does look, as Abby brought up, that it went from sideline to sideline. Is it bigger than? Is it bigger than square footage? Is it bigger than the original house?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, again, the idea was to let the original house be the old cottage on the property, and then rather than try to add to that or renovate it or do something to make it more useful for them, was to build a new structure behind it and let that building remain its.
So just, I thought there would be a reason for it, but it makes a good photograph of the old building, which we're trying to do. So that is good. So can I get a motion? So we hold
Madam Chair,
revisions?
no, Diane,
Yeah,
I just wanted to mention something here. These, I'm not talking about this half floor window. There is one that I know of, the only one. It's across the street from the coffin school. So you want to see how they look on the halfway, you might do that, take a look at it. Thank you.
okay, so who would like to try a motion?
I would motion to hold for some revisions,
Okay, thank you very
mostly
much.
to just detail.
Right, thank you. Abby,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Johnny,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
and me is an aye, so that's good. We all approve. Thank you very much, Lisa. See you
Oh,
see you again.
I'm still here.
You're still there. All right. I just have you at, oh, okay, got the wrong page. God. So what is your next one? Is 36 Lily Street.
Relocated studio on the lot.
Will you tell me something about 36 Lily Street?
I'll try.
Is it down the driveway that the house has been in with us for some
Yes.
ages, and there's now a great big bunch of water in front of it?
Well, I haven't been down
Is
there to
that
see
the house?
the water, but it was connected to the larger lot that they then sold to the land bank. So
Okay,
the
okay, because
small-
somebody put a picture in and it was sort of scary and startling with the what was a small hole has become a big hole, but I haven't been able to get this, so I don't know. So tell me what we're doing with this.
Madam Chair, I have to recuse. I think you're going to need I don't know if you need a whatever it's called, alternate.
Well, we've got Carrie if Stephen isn't back, so we can do that. Holly, would you like to tell us what Hashabi said?
Yeah. Yes, Madam Chair. So as far as the relocate studio, there was just overall just conversation about visibility, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, from Gull Island and everything, but at the end of the day for the relocate, there were no concerns on the relocate.
All right, thank you.
And I believe, just for the record, the application did indicate the date of 1909 to 1923 approximately. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Isn't there
Okay,
a lot
Lisa,
on the neighbors?
let me get Lisa to tell us what she's proposing and then we'll go to the commission. Lisa?
The building is, if you go to the site plan, it shows where the structure used to sit on the a lot. It has a red dotted line. So the building is now being relocated closer to Gull Island. So it was, you can't see my cursor probably, but it was the red dotted outline was where it was previously approved. Now we're planning on relocating it closer to Gull Island with, without any real changes to the architecture that had been previously approved.
Okay, so it's just moving.
Yes.
Relocating.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
I was
So-
remiss in reminding the
Yes.
commission of a letter that was received by the Lily Pond Neighborhood Association. I can,
Okay, do you want to
I-
read it?
yep, can you all see that right now? Okay, did it come up or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. So I'll read that into the record for you all. Dear HTC members, the abutters and area residents of 36 Lily Street proposed multi-dwelling new development would like to request the following requested actions: HTC site visit due to the potential impact on the streetscape and surrounding setting, which we believe to be inappropriate. Please ensure a site visit by HTC board members occur prior to any vote on the plans as submitted. Erect height poles. Due to the scale and massing of the proposed structures, please ask the developer to erect height poles and boundary markers. Please consider the proposed context and architectural style. The gambrel is not appropriate, too demanding, too grand for a very rural, bucolic setting constructed between two historic country lanes and located next to a historic public space. I think this is for the other application, but anyway, relocating the studio as proposed will impact the sight lines and streetscape of two historic natural lanes permanently. One, the public way leading from Lily Street to Lily Pond, two, Gull Island Lane. Sincerely, Lily Pond Neighborhood Association. So that's for your consideration. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for reading that. So, okay, we will begin.
I'll
And
take,
okay, Johnny.
yeah, okay, all right. I went up there, of course, I viewed that for 100 years, but they're moving it, if it's pre-existing, they move it on the same lot. I don't believe you can tell them they cannot move something that's already pre-existing. And that bond is there quite a few years now, maybe 50, 60 years. And I think it's appropriate to move it out of the site if possible, or from looking down from the hill, from Lily Street, looking down that little town road there. I think it's appropriate to move it out of that area if you can, on the same lot. And also it's visible from the town lily pond. The town owns a lily pond, and it backs right up on about 20 feet from where this building's going. I think that's important in that area where it's nice old homes there. They should just move it and forget about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Abby,
Chair, just for the record, I just want, no, she's not sitting on this, Madam Chair, but I just wanted to mention that this was placed on the view for your packet.
oh, thank you. Okay, so Carrie. Are you there, Carrie?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself and I muted myself. It's like dyslexia with mute and unmute. I think, as John said, it's perfectly appropriate to move a building on its own site, but knowing that there's a new building coming, that changes things. Then we're looking at another building instead of this one. But I think it's a really cute little building, and I don't see a problem with moving it. It's the next
Okay.
application that's going to be scrutinized.
Alrighty. Val,
I concur.
you don't mind moving it, okay?
Right.
1, 2, 3. Is Stephen back?
Nope.
All right, so then I would say my only point in saying something about the moving is the point that the letter brings up, which over the length of time that we have been considering this location has come up before, is the meeting of the old Gull Island and coming down, and the driveway coming down and seeing it from Lily Street. And I don't think it should block the view of Gull Island, people coming down Gull Island. I'm not sure it doesn't block the view somewhat of coming across over to Lily Street. I think that is, that's an important area. Did anybody get to go and view it this
Yep.
recently? What did you
Yep.
what did you think, Val?
Well, I think that by moving this toward the Gull Island Lane is actually, in my opinion, a plus, because those houses there are right close to the lane, or if not right on the lane, and it keeps the integrity of an old structure facing that way. The view from Lily Street is down a hill, and I think less, just my opinion, important than keeping Gull Island more authentic. So for me, I think it's a win-win in this particular situation.
Okay. Well, I couldn't decide. I've seen it all things, and I know the house at the beginning of Gull Lane, and I just, whether I was looking at it because I knew that house, whether it really works. But I agree with you of what you said, that moving it up to those houses at Gull Lane that's come down and end, it is very much like them and would fit in. So can we have a motion for this particular application, which is relocate studio on lot?
I would motion to approve as submitted.
All right, thank you. Johnny,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So that's great, thank you. That has been approved. The next one is a new dwelling on 36 Lily Street. So,
So on this one, the south faces up the driveway to Lily Street. West faces towards the Lily Pond. East faces the back, and then I think the north faces towards the just relocated gambrel. So this structure is a gambrel. I mean, we thought it was appropriate because
We're not seeing it. Is it?
Hold on, Lisa, we don't have it on the screen yet.
Yeah, no problem.
You all didn't see that?
No, we just have the
oh,
letter.
It was still the letter.
Still the letter. There we go.
there it is.
So if you go back to there's the house. The lane coming is on the left side. You're coming down in this direction from the locust map down to get to the to view the building. So the west side is going to be the side that's viewed from the road. That's viewing to the Lily Pond. I'm sorry. The west side is viewing to the Lily Pond. The south side is viewing to the road.
Okay. I got the east side, the north side, but no south side.
It's the south on the bottom.
There
So
it
I know
is.
the ASAP had comments that they thought that that door could be more interesting, maybe more shingle style facing the road, rather than just a 9 light.
Okay.
But we did choose the gambrel form because of the history of the gambrel barn that you guys just approved to relocate on the same site. We thought it was appropriate, since the form exists on the site already.
Madam Chair, it's Abby, and I'm recused, but I thought there were going to be some neighbors to talk about this, and if there are no neighbors, I would speak for them.
All righty. I have not gotten any word that there are neighbors here to speak today.
Sorry, point of order. Town council said that if we're a member of the board and we recuse, that we're not supposed to speak in opposition to a project. That was town council a couple months ago. Thank you. Bye.
Ray, come back for a minute.
Ray? Diane's asking you something.
I'm sorry, what, Diane?
I didn't think we had ever followed that. We've let,
Well, it was a recent rendering. Town council said that this came up before, and he said that if somebody recuses off the board, that they shouldn't turn around and go to the other side of the table and speak in opposition.
Makes sense, but
Yeah, well, okay.
Madam Chair, I do have one comment from HSAB on this, as Lisa alluded to, the was on that front door, making it more interesting, maybe a shingle style. There was also a recommendation of maybe, actually it is a 9-light, never mind, it is a 9-light 2-panel door, but make it more of a shingle style door and more of an entrance.
and I think Holly, not to put words in their mouths, but my recollection was, it was a pretty positive review of the building.
Absolutely. That was their only comment on the application.
They generally liked it very much. They wanted maybe four lights in the transom on the elevation that faces west. That was Vicky's comment right there. Yeah.
Yes. And is that a Dutch door?
Yes.
okay, I see.
They also
And that was my actually comment from a staff's perspective, was I wasn't familiar with having a Dutch door with the transom above. That didn't seem to be in keeping with anything that I'm aware of, but those are the comments. Thank you.
I have comment.
All right, Johnny, I'm just letting.
Okay.
Lisa finish her comment.
All right, well, what we're looking at is the west elevation. And if you look at the west elevation and then drop down and look at the south elevation is facing the road to get down to it.
Mhm.
So if you look real close on the west elevation compared to which would probably be the kitchen door, but it's facing the public way. But then on the west elevation, looking at that, that's going to be seen from the lily pond. But you got to look real technical, because that's what they call a French door. The top moves and the bottom one doesn't sometimes in the summer. So I think they ought to not start putting those up around Dutch doors. They're a Holland type door, not an American door. And I think they ought to change that one door because it'll be seen from the lily pond. And that's my comment on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Val.
I actually appreciate a lot about this design. I like that the south facing the street is very simple, like a lot of the buildings there, including Gracie's mansion, which is right up above it, looming over it. I'm trying to remember, because there were so many meetings on the prior submission for this. Wasn't there this is not the same barn building that was previously on, was it an adjacent piece of property?
Adjacent piece of property, much bigger that they.
Right, but I think that building had some Dutch doors, or a Dutch door, if I'm not mistaken.
Kind of, it was, I'm pretty sure it was a gambrel as well. let me see.
Yeah, so for me, that's in keeping with the area is what's coming to my mind. I almost wouldn't mind that being the door facing the street. I appreciate that the west, which is facing the lily pond, is not just a big mass of glass. Maybe on the second floor, little balcony dormer, take one element out and just split it up with some shingles just to sort of lessen its impact. But by and large, it's a very simple structure, which I appreciate. What is the chimney? Is it what? Is it going to be like parged white or is it brick?
It's water struck, it's brick.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I think it's appropriate for the area. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Anybody? Hello?
I'll go. Is Diane there?
I'm here. I'm here. I just double muted myself. So I'm sorry.
Shall I go?
Yes, please do.
I am in agreement with Val. I think this is an adorable building and I love the south elevation being so simple. I also thought that the Dutch door on that front elevation would be appropriate because I'm remembering prowling around down there when it was low, weird little barny buildings and they had some funky elements to them that didn't seem to fit but gave it character. And the fact that this is such a simple building, I think it can use that on the front. And I also agree in that dormer, it's a little heavy, that maybe just a single door instead of the French doors would help a lot. Can we look at the other two elevations? I think there was, yeah, simple. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have to say. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the
Thank you.
scale so much.
That's 1, 2, 3, and I'm 4. While we're on that proposed east elevation, I would like to see, I'm sure you're tired of hearing this, 2 windows up there, not 3. I don't mind the Dutch door. Actually, there are more Dutch doors around than one might think, that because you're not aware of them until they work. And I think in the 1910, 1920 era, they were used a lot. So that's what I would propose. The only thing I would have liked to have seen is perhaps a little added massing 1 story, but the land around the house is rather tenuous as far as what's good land and what's wetland. So
Madam
probably
Chair,
yes.
this is Kathy. I can't tell if there's anybody on the call, at the meeting that's against this or has any concerns. So I don't know if you wanted to maybe ask before you made a motion.
I did ask and I didn't get any reply.
Oh, my mistake.
That's all right, except
Okay.
to say that we couldn't have a member of the commission
Right.
remove themselves. So that's what I asked in the west elevation, the middle window. With, I just feel it makes it heavy with both sides with a lot of fenestration. So if you think we can pass, that would be great. If I could get a motion for it, that would be even greater.
Madam
So
Chairperson?
could I get a motion? Yes,
Yes, Madam Chairperson, I would like to make a further comment on this. Could we go to the, there's a west, east elevation, right there. Oh, yeah, that one right there. Now, I missed something. What I'm looking at is a tin roof or a copper clad roof. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, well, it should be squared off on the sides and shingled like the upper roof. And
Yeah.
it's different because that's going to be highly visible. I forgot to mention that. And that should be checked out before we do it and give a copper roof. Thank you. In the old historic area.
That's fine. Changing that to wood is fine.
Well, let's see how it sits with
I'll
people. What they,
take a go at it.
okay,
I would motion to approve through staff with the following alterations or revisions. On the west, to reduce the French door to a single French door in the dormer with the balcony. To change the front door to perhaps something similar to the east elevation, or flop those two or something. Because I really do like
You mean to the west, sorry.
the west, sorry, the west. Dutch door. And to change the east elevation single story mass roof to standard shingle like the rest of the building. And that is my motion.
okay.
I'm in favor.
Carrie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
and I guess I'm an I. I'm more I than a no, so I'll go with an I.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
I hope you guys have a
Have
good
a
rest of your night.
Are you all set, Lisa?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Bye, sweetie.
Thank you, Diane. So next up is 19 East Creek Road, BPC.
Mr. Chair, may I just take a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
Me too, Val. I've got to sit out for a bit.
So are you both leaving?
I'm just going and coming back.
All right, I'll stay
So
on.
Abby, can you hang in just for a sec?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Because Stephen, sadly, I
Mr.
think.
Chair, Stephen is here. I don't know.
I'm
if
here,
he's-
Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you had disappeared. Well, so let's see. Val's gone, and did Abby go too?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh, you are. Well, now that I know that Stephen's here, if you want to leave now, you can, and we'll just have Stephen and Carrie sitting on this one.
Yeah, that would be great.
Whatever you prefer. Okay, so we got that. Who's here to represent BPC, by the way?
Joe Paul.
Oh, hi, Joe. Okay, so
Hello, everybody.
Joe, you probably gathered that Steve and Carrie are both going to sit on your application. Val and Abby are temporarily indisposed. So that's going to be Diane, John, Steve, Carrie, and myself. Okay, let's go.
Okay,
All right.
no problem. Do you want me to start?
Yep, please.
Yeah, so this is an existing ranch house, late 80s. Sits on the water behind the Farm
yeah.
Island home. And my client bought this about 4 years ago and has actually never spent the night there, and had worked on, I guess originally was thinking he was going to knock the house down and move it back, and there was some resistance with Concom, and this was before I was involved. And he's and I'm just giving you the backstory because I think this represents a major paradigm shift on his part to just deal with the existing structure in its location and really work on this as a more of a renovation and not alter the roof lines in a large way. So you can see here's some context photos are next, mostly as a crow flies, but so this house has white trim and an asphalt roof, and it has white painted rails, and all the windows are unmuttoned 1/1s or a big half moon window in the gable end. And there's a garage that faces, well, it's visible from the water, but faces the side driveway. And I can show you the next page is a comparison of the existing and proposed. So what we're trying to do is, well, give this a little bit of character, and we've Mostly in terms of roof line alterations, we're taking the garage, which is the far right, as I'm looking at the top elevation, and we've created a gable forward that kind of balances out the existing gable that's there. That existing gable, we narrowed up the fenestration and we've removed the half moon window. We've removed the gable dormers and made them shed dormers. The railing system that's there, which was all painted balusters, we're going with all natural rail and posts with a stainless cable. The base of this, which is like a lattice work that's kind of fallen away, is cedar horizontal boards with some spacing. The floodplain of this, just FYI, this is actually compliant with current floodplain regs. So everything that's below the deck basically is in the floodplain. And you can kind of see that as you work your way down to the next elevation, we are proposing an expansion of the little shed roof on that elevation towards the back of the house. The west elevation is existing, and you can see that from the north, you can see that there's a hill that kind of rises up. You can also see it in the photo, where much of this elevation is actually buried. There's about a 6-foot grade change if you're standing up on the lawn of our island home. So we have proposed some fenestration on the back side of this with functional natural cedar, those are painted wood shutters. Right now, the building has roll shutters facing the water. I believe he bought it with those roll shutters, so I can't speak to whether or not those were actually approved, but it's basically been shuttered for a few years. On the north elevation, that existing garage, what we're proposing is that can't be captured as living space because it's in the floodplain. We're removing the overhead door and we're going to have sliding, we'll call them barn doors that would be white, and there's a pergola there. So that structure will essentially be a storage shed for them in the off season, and then during the season it might function as a kind of a little cabana hangout space. There's no pool or anything, obviously, but we're trying to capture some of the driveway. We're going to peel back about 50% of the driveway and make that plantings, native plantings, and some patio space. And these are the clouded versions that describe everything that I just went through on the smaller scale drawings. And that's kind of it as an overview.
Okay. Great, Joe. I know this house pretty well, and yeah, I think you're doing a good job with it. Okay, let's see, we don't have any HSAB or anything like that, so I think we go straight to the board on this one. Is anyone ready to begin?
I'll start.
Okay, so go ahead, John.
Yes, I can start. Thank you.
Mhm.
I find the changes in this, the alterations and changes in this structure are appropriate. I think they exceed a couple of things, but it's not that important because you wouldn't pick them out. But I think the main thing here is the shutter. They got shutters on them, or what you got? Those that you can shut.
Well, John, like at the moment, the photographs show that at the moment they have those roll down metal shutters. And I
Oh,
think,
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
I think what Joe is proposing is that they actually have like real shutters.
I think the change are important because the main thing, this structure is surrounded on all 4 sides by town property.
Correct.
You know,
That's
so
right.
I'm just saying that's it. But well, what these changes are related to, I don't think very few people really pay attention to look in that direction. But I just say I think they're appropriate. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, John. That's great. Let's see, Diane? You there? Diane? Let's cut to.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
I
here
like
now.
I like the changes. I think they're better than what's there. The right mass where you're turning the gable, I kind of feel like it's too big. I'd like to see a little bit of hierarchy there and let that be more subservient to the other main gable. And I think you could do it because I also think that window in that space is oversized to the point of distraction for me. But I think if you pull that gable mass down so it's got a lower ridge like the original one, I know you're turning it, but the original house has a lower gable there that helps, I think, break up that long looking line. And from the water, I think it could read as one big long mass. And I think if you reduce that down a bit and fix that window so it's not so overscaled, that would be good.
Okay.
I like the changes to the garage door side. And I appreciate all those shutters because I think that will be needed down there, and I think they're good looking. I think that's it for now.
Okay. Thanks, Carrie. Diane, I heard you come in.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go
I
ahead.
muted. My family arrived.
Yeah.
I appreciate it too. I'm just questioning on all those windows. They look like 6/6s, but they're not. They're panel windows, right?
Yeah, a
They're not
lot of these. Yeah, a lot of these windows are fixed.
Okay, because they're not double hung, as far as I can figure out. So I agree also with dropping that right-hand side gable, because when you see this from the harbor, which certainly becomes a public place, it looks like a very long eve along there, and I think it should be broken up so it goes up and down, because it fits in. The island home is set back, and I think this is down to it. Did you say, Ray, that this was Mike Bachman's house?
No.
No, it's not.
It's close to his house, but this is like directly behind our island home. You know,
Do you mind
Okay.
going to the page that shows the elevation that faces the water? I don't have anything to say about it, but it feels weird to talk about that elevation, but be looking at the back of it.
Right. So do we have the east elevation?
Oh, yeah, of course. There it is.
Yeah, okay.
There it is. The skirt around the house, you've got it going horizontal. That's what it is now, right? Or is that what you're changing it to?
It's a lattice now. It's what I'm changing it to. It's not really the direction of those boards isn't important, but the lattice just seems to get broken. There's vegetation that's meandering through there. And you don't really want to look underneath this whole thing because it's on piers. And I think having it feel a little grounded made some sense.
Yeah, no, I just was curious. I couldn't remember what was down there, having spent a year working at the island home. I think it will. I think what you've done to it gives it some originality and is good. There are things I would be curious to see when they're done for another thing, but I think that the shutters or panels that close the windows are certainly a good idea and should be used and approved because of the punishment this house gets. So I don't have any major problems now that I know what it's doing. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Stephen?
Thank Thanks, Mr. Chair. Can we please go to the existing versus proposed sheet? And zoom in on the, yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna go top to bottom real quick, try and shorten this up a little bit. Looking at the proposed east, I agreed with Carrie, and then I looked at the comparison. I think that the gable to the right, although it could be subservient, is acceptable. It does, to me, break up the perception of a longer building. I would suggest, however, that that window be downsized in the rightmost gable to a more proportionate scale to the other windows. And the dormer in the center section, center being between the two gables, I'd suggest even if that pitch comes down to a 312, that you bring that off the ridge. I think that that would help to create a little bit of a visual break. No concerns on the south elevation, noting that the horizontal banding is, it's a little atypical, but I don't think it's inappropriate. The west elevation, I think, same comment with respect to the dormer, and otherwise and the large window under the center, more centered gable. On the north elevation, no concerns. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Can I say one thing, Ray, just as a point of clarification? Thanks, Steve. I appreciate your comments. Those two gables aren't in the same plane. It's probably worth noting that the one on the right is pushed back from the one on the front, and there's a little bit of it's a split level house. There's like 3 levels in this house tucked underneath this roof. So part of the scale of that gable was to keep it somewhat simple. It matches the other one identically, and we end up creating a little entry porch by matching those two gables. I thought it would simplify what is lacking some hierarchy at the moment. So just FYI, I thought I'd bring that up relative to the gables.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks.
okay with that. I just think that oversized window should be 2 double hungs or something rather than one huge.
Actually, interesting, Carrie, because that's exactly where I am on this. I'm okay with the gable being the same height. The fact that it is pushed back, which I understand, and created a little entry. But yeah, the overscaled window, I think, is the only thing that I should say, the overscaled window on the east elevation, because I guarantee that west elevation sits right next to this like bluff. And it's way down the hill from where our island home is. So there ain't no way anybody's going to see any of those windows, maybe the dormer, but not that particular window. So I would be in favor of making that one in the new gable smaller on the east elevation. Aside from that, I think it's like basically an improvement all the way around in terms of what's there right now. So those are my comments. Anybody care to make a motion on this one?
Motion to hold for minor revisions.
Okay, let's see how that goes. So on that motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
all right, and Stephen on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, motion carries. Thanks, Joe. I guess you got a couple more, huh?
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
say what everybody else says. These should be pretty straightforward. I'm serious, actually.
Okay. We'll take you at your word on that. Lost my sheet here. There we go. Okay. So so 2 at 19 Eel Point Road, right?
Right.
19R Eel Point Road to be.
That's correct. One is this the guest house that's up?
Revisions, it doesn't say anything about a guest house per se, but it's revisions to some building with omitting the deck.
Yeah. If you go to the site plan, the previous page, Holly, thank you. So the main house is, and these are all labeled. So the approved home, there's approved guest. The gazebo's up next, and the pool has been approved. So both the main house is screening the guest house,
Mhm.
and the cabanas behind that, and you can kind of see with the topography that none of this is visible from the bluff. And all the fenestration on the main house was approved due to lack of visibility, and so was the pools. So what you have up next are some changes that the client wanted to make to the guest house, where we remove a porch that faces the interior of the lot, and we actually remove a bracketed second floor balcony that was facing the water. Yeah, here's the previous page is the approved and proposed. So as you look at the top elevation on the right hand side of that, it's clouded. That was facing, or is facing, the water. We removed that little balcony, and now it's just going to be 2 double hung windows. And then there's some minor fenestration changes on the ground floor. Noted there is a blank elevation on the ground floor, the third elevation down on the right, but that faces into a hill that slopes up to the neighbor, and you're not going to see that lack of fenestration on there. And then the final elevation, we added some windows to a basement, and we removed that that porch. It was just feeling a little overscaled relative to the size of the house, and it was kind of intruding into the landscape of the yard a little bit. So
Okay.
my client asked to have it removed.
Well, I think you're right. You said it well when you started out, straightforward. Okay, board members.
I
I'm
have no
back,
problem with
Chair.
what he has proposed.
Hang on, Diane, go ahead.
I have no problem with what he has proposed, where it is and whatever. So I would say aye.
Okay, great. Who else was trying to chime in there just now?
I was just telling you I was back.
Oh, okay, so why don't you hang on? We're going to get through these 2 Eel Point Road things, and then I'll take you back on at
Groovy.
Woolinick. Okay.
Okay.
So Diane's good. Stephen.
Yeah, no concerns. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Carrie.
Ditto.
All right, John.
I have one question. What's the height of this building?
We haven't changed it. I think it's
Whatever the
20.
height was has already been approved, but could you have an answer to that?
Yeah, it's like 25.6 or 25.4, somewhere
There you
around there.
go, John.
Thank you.
Okay.
No comment.
All right. So listen, this is a reduction. I think it's all around good, favorable. Can I have a motion?
Motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve is submitted.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Sorry, Stephen was the first out of the gate, so we're going to take his. So Stephen, on your motion,
No,
Diane.
it was not.
Diane, are you in favor of the
Aye.
motion? Okay, thank you. Carrie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Okay, that motion carries. Now, how about the gazebo cabana?
Yeah, this at one point was on the other side of the pool towards the neighbor, and it got flipped to this side in our site planning.
Oh,
So
right.
it's screened from the road. It's, I think, 12.5 feet tall, and it's to support outdoor dining, and there's a half bath and a storage area for beach gear. The details in the columns match the house, and all wood roof, white trim.
Okay. I'm a little confused then.
Okay.
So did we already approve this or what?
Oh, no, sorry. It's been showing up in our site plans for a while, and I didn't mean to mislead you.
I see. So this has never been reviewed, like.
That's correct. Yes, it's never been reviewed.
Okay.
It came up when we reviewed the pool about the future cabana against the neighbor's lot. And
I get it. Yes, I do remember you flipping it, but I never.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Diane, you want to start?
I am not. Do the pillars that you have, do they match any pillars up at the house?
Yeah, I think there are
Is this-
2 dozen columns on this wraparound porch on the front, sort of a double gambrel. So they face Eel Point Road. on the
Right.
house.
And on this building, is it going to be seen from Airport Road in the back?
No,
What's the best view going to be?
you've got the main house, and then you have the guest house, and then behind the guest house you have this structure. And this structure is actually down 18 inches grade wise from those other structures, and it's either 12 and a half feet tall or 13 feet tall. So you're not going to see it unless you get invited to their house, or I get invited. I don't know if I will. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Unless you're sitting out in the middle of the water, you might see it coming over. But other than that, I don't think so. I think that it's got some originality, and if it can't be seen, I see no reason why they can't have a few shapes that are different from other places.
Okay.
That's what.
Thank you, Diane. Carrie, you ready?
I'd say in any other location, no, but because this is where it is and it's not going to be seen, I can't say no.
Yeah. I hear you. John.
Yes. What am I looking at on the left side? It says main, what? No, you go back a page, 2 pages.
This is just a
On
side.
the left, the main home.
Yes.
Oh, that has a cupola on it?
Yeah, that shows you the side view, John, of what was approved, and I wanted to show them in scale and also the relative distance from one another. So I'm showing, if you were in the neighbor's yard looking across at this gazebo, you would be seeing the side of the main house and you'd be seeing the guest house. So if you slide up on this page, Holly, I think, sorry,
Okay.
down, I guess.
Okay, I can see
Yeah,
that.
that's what that is. That's an approved structure with that cupola and the other approved guest house.
Yeah. I have no problem due to its remote location. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask one question to Joe? What is the color of the siding? It's all vertical board. Is it natural to weather?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, natural weather. We do have that approved on the main house too, as a little appendage off one side that shows up in that view down below. I think we might have actually gotten approved as painted white on the main house, but this would be natural.
Got it.
I think we'd want it to be natural.
Yeah, that's good. There's a lot of it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Stephen.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I agree with Carrie and John's statements.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm convinced that this will not be visible from a public way. So I think Carrie said, if it were anyplace else, no, but because it's not visible, that I think that's fine with me. So can I have a motion?
So move.
All right, John has made a motion to approve.
Due to lack of visibility.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so that's John's motion. On John's motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane. Stephen?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
John, on your motion?
Aye.
Very good, and I'm in favor. That motion carries. Okay, so now we're at 58, we'll win it. Oh, you're all set, right, Joe? Yeah.
Yes.
So, at least for now. Okay, so Val's back. Abby is gone for the evening, so that means that one or two of you are going to need to hop in on each one. So, Carrie, you want to go on in this one?
Sure.
Okay. Rotation. Okay. Steve Thoreau, are you on board?
I am on board.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is a garage studio located on Walnut Road. This is the existing residence. And if we go to the locus plan for a second, Holly or Kathy, the other one, keep going back one more. You can see where the garage is in relationship to the main house.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the relationship to Walnut Road. It's tucked back into the far right-hand corner, and it's not visible from the Walnut Road. There's a narrow driveway that's cut through the vegetation brush that's there, and you will not see this.
Hey, Stephen.
Yes.
On this locus plan, what's the road that's going horizontally at the bottom, just so I can get my bearings?
It's a paper road, right?
No, it's
Pocomo.
Oh, this is Pocomo Road right here.
that's Pocomo Road. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay, I
Sorry.
know where we are. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's it, guys. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay, John, go. Oh, gosh, we haven't even seen the garage.
No.
Let's scroll down and see the garage.
Could you show the photos, please?
All right, so there's the house.
There's the house.
Yeah.
There's the house. So there's the location of the garage on the far right-hand corner, back against the lot line.
Okay.
Could I see the east elevation, please?
There it is down the lower right-hand corner. There you go, John,
Yeah.
right there.
Could I see the north elevation? Okay, that's the outdoor shower, yeah. Okay, anything above the second floor possibly is visible, but it's all okay because it all looks good. Thank you.
All right, John, thanks. Hey, a good question, Stephen. I'm going to assume that the trim is natural to match the house.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Val, you ready?
Sure. I think it's fine. Could we maybe either drop the eave line just slightly to take up the space between the window and the eave, or put in a freeze board or something so that the windows on the second floor are grounded a little bit?
Mhm.
And then on the south, the front, is there any way to just move those windows in just slightly?
Yes.
So it's not so, I think somebody calls it wall-eyed, but other than that, I think it's perfectly appropriate and it goes with the main house.
And Val, yes to both questions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Val. Oh, gosh. We heard from John.
Carrie,
Diane.
Diane.
Diane, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Woo-hoo. I think that something has to bring those windows down on the east elevation. They may be bigger or something, or a strip there or whatever, and it could go around to the north elevation as a continuation. Other than that, I think down at off Walnut Road, and the garage it will fit in.
I'm sorry?
Thank you, Diane. John, let's see. We took care of you, right, John?
I'm in favor of it.
Okay, good. And then so Carrie.
Yeah, I think if Val's recommendations are adhered to, it will be approvable.
Okay, great. So Stephen, it sounded like you were okay with the idea of moving those two windows on the south elevation closer to each other?
Yes, and I'll add a freeze board to the west.
I was hoping that you would give me the other one, which was to drop the eave down so that it was, tighter.
I can do that too.
Oh, I would prefer that.
All right, let's do that through staff if we can.
Okay, so if you're willing to do those two things, it sounds like we have liftoff. Can I have a motion from somebody?
I'll make it a motion to approve through staff with the south second floor windows moving closer to one another
Mhm.
and the east and west elevations to add a freeze board over the
Oh, I didn't
windows.
like the freeze board. He was willing to move the plate.
To make the second floor wall height shorter to
Get the eave closer to the window heads.
that, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Thank
my
you.
motion.
Thank you for that, Val. On Val's motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you. John,
Aye.
Carrie,
I,
Val,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. That motion carries. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, thanks. You too. All right, let's see what's up next. Ben Norman at 42 Cliff. So now in the rotation, we're going to pull Stephen Welch in. If you don't mind.
That's good.
Okay. Ben, do we have you?
I'm here. You guys ready?
Yep. Very good.
So we're at 42 Cliff Road. This is a very skinny fingernail of a lot. And to match it is an incredibly unusual building. A very narrow, almost a trailer width building.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rumored to have been a hose or cart, a hose house for a hotel. The Cliff, is it the Cliffside Hotel or the hotel on Cliff Road there?
Right across the street.
Yep, and 1915. So it was repurposed clearly to be a little cottage. It's been in this family for quite a long time, the Clapp family. It has seen better days, as we'll see in some of the pictures, but really we're just trying to make it a little bit more livable, create a little bit more elbow room through the center of it, create a little bit bigger of a bedroom off the very rear of it, but essentially keeping the same incredibly long shotgun structure there. So, and part of this is also to lift it and put a semi-tall crawl underneath it. The building does have a cinder block foundation under it currently, so that somebody did put a proper, semi-proper foundation under it. But part of this process would also to lift it, to put the new foundation on, then lower it. Elevation-wise, it wouldn't change, but that would be part of the scope of work. And I believe that's it. We did see HSAB. Boy, it was quite a while ago, so I have to recollect exactly what they said, but they were relatively pleased with it, I believe. I'm sure Holly will give us the full notes. They did suggest that I look at the windows in the building to see, the condition and what age. I did go up there. Number of the windows are aluminum jammed Roscoe or Boston Sash or whatever the brand is. Really no historic value there. The one that does seem to be of kind of historic interest is the diamond shaped one that you can see in the as-built in front of you. It's that tiny little thing near the outdoor, or the as-built. Yep, that one right there. That seems to be older, repurposed clearly. If it pleases the board, we'd be happy to find a home for it in this project. Not exactly sure where, maybe in the bedroom or somewhere, but
because right now, Ben, the area that window is in is getting sort of eclipsed by this shed addition that you're putting on, correct?
Over here.
I would have to measure it exactly. Yeah, it's somewhere over there where that cursor is.
Oh, okay.
But we are trying to get a little bit more air in the bathroom in there. Currently, that little diamond-shaped window is the only air, or I don't think it even opens. But so we are trying to get a little bit more air in for that bathroom. But we would repurpose it, but maybe move it to a different location on the building.
All right.
But that was an HSAB suggestion. Hasn't totally been flushed out, but we are happy.
So far, we've only actually seen 2 of the elevations, right?
Okay. So that's the west is viewable from Coffin Park. Is that the name of the park back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and south elevation is not really visible. It's on a very tight little spot. East elevation is what you see when you drive down Cliff Road.
Mhm.
The north is, again, right up against their property line.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Holly.
HSAB did take a look at this on April 5th, so it's been a while. As the information that was provided shows HTC survey and the NHL data around 1915. Really, there were no concerns on the proposal from HSAB and staff, except for reusing any old windows. As Ben had mentioned, there was some interest in these existing 6/9 windows to reuse those, depending on obviously their age. They might be the oldest that's there. So of course we would support any reuse of existing quirky old windows. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Holly. Board members?
I'll do it.
All right, John, go ahead.
Thank you. This Clapp family that owns this,
Yeah.
this information is one of the oldest families living on Cliff Road, still there. All everything else has been changed. Anyway, my one comment is the north elevation is a 12 light over one square frame. Is that the front door, the north elevation? Or?
The front door is on the south elevation, I guess.
Can I
It's
see
very
that?
unusual. I guess that's a. There's no real proper front door to this structure, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. I have no comment. I think the application should be approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Val?
I totally agree, and I'd love to see them use that little window somewhere.
Me too. Yeah, thanks. Diane?
I'm for it, and I'd like to see the use of the windows and maybe those 6/9s somewhere, if they're not the aluminum clad ones. But I think it's a good proposal.
Okay, thank you, Diane. And Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I'm good with it. I think it's a charming design. And Ben, if you put a shed in later, put the window in that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Clever idea. So those number 2 windows, Ben, if I heard you correctly, I thought that you said that none of the windows were really old or historic, original with the house, other than the diamond window. In other words, the 6/9s are not original. Is that what
the 6/9s are aluminum clad in the existing ones in there. Okay. They are. I don't know if that diamond one is original in that building. It could have been repurposed. I suspect it's repurposed from a Victorian somewhere else. It doesn't.
It's charming window, so it's nice to reuse. Yeah. I'm sure you'll find a home for it. So
we sure will.
I think generally we all approve of this. Can somebody give me a motion on this?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, fair enough. So on that motion, Diane?
Aye.
Okay, John?
Aye.
Very good. Stephen?
Aye.
And Val?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Good night. And now Mr. Topham is up at 19 Union Street.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, so this is 19 Union Street. We're now on to phase 2. So,
Uh-oh.
Bandwidth. Joe?
Joe, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Hit the screen.
going around the house. I bet. Anything?
Joe?
Ray?
We hear you.
Yeah, so you may want to take your video off because you don't have enough bandwidth. I
Okay.
can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, better?
Yes, for now. Yeah.
All right. So on the east elevation, there's going to be a portico on the north side tucked in. That will have a red cedar roof. And there is a 9-light door currently on the house, and we want to change that to a 20-light Dutch door, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And as we swing around to the south elevation, originally we had a copper roof, and we were going to change it to asphalt, but my clients, I talked him into doing a red cedar roof on the patio. And so that's going to be, instead of asphalt, we're going to do red cedar. And the L windows, we're just reconfiguring those for a bedroom to work with a bed, a queen size bed in that room. And beneath the portico that was approved before, we're going to go from a 20-light Dutch door. And now if we swing around to the backside, this is where most of the work is happening. There is a large Anderson slider on the backside. We want to remove that and do a 15-light French door. There are 9 clear stories above the pool, and would like to remove those along with 5 horizontal skylights that are in the deck. Would like to remove those. The pool is going to be removed, not that you really care about the interior. And there is a triple ganged window. We want to break that apart and do 3 smaller single windows. And then there's a side door on the second floor, and we want to change that from a 9-light to a 16-light, and swing around to the north elevation where the pool was. We're going to turn this into the master bedroom wing, so we're just going to reconfigure some of the windows on that elevation, remove a couple, and on the second floor we're going to add a small little added addition, and that's just to get a stair from the first floor up to the second floor. And we're removing a 9-light door and a small little 6-light 6/6 window, and we're just going to match a P window to the, or B window, sorry, that matches the master bedroom. And there's a large picture window on the second floor, a clear story, and we're going to remove that and go into 3 smaller windows as well. So that is our proposal. Thank you.
Hey, Joe, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure that I heard you just say that the roof on the gazebo thing started out as copper and then it went to asphalt, but you're going to change it to red cedar?
Correct.
So why do all the notes say change to asphalt?
Because that was just a meeting we had 3 days ago.
Oh, I see. So this is a subsequent thing, but the proposal now is for red cedar.
Right. And yeah. So anything on the first floor, we're going to change to red cedar and leave the asphalt roofs to the second stories for now.
Thank you.
And the town, the advisory board did review this, and they asked for a detail on the porticos. So I believe Holly or Kathy, could you share that? It wasn't in this pack, it was a supplemental.
Yeah, you mean you provided it. Well, so Joe, thanks.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Holly now. And maybe while Holly's giving us HSAB, we can pull up that detail.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair, HSAB took a look at this on April 5th. Thank you, Joe, for providing that email. I did not get it up right away, but I'm getting it for you. They were overall okay with the proposals. Of course, the copper was kind of a disappointment. So we hope that that's something that could be done in the future, because that really was a great, I think, asset to that historic structure. The overall was the north with that bracket detail, because if you see on the side elevation, yeah, right here, where really you couldn't tell that detail. So as Joe mentioned, he did email that to me, and let me get it for you. Overall, that was the only real comment was that bracket detail. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Holly, I just resent it.
What?
Oh, you did? Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
You just
Holly,
resent
can
it.
I have a clarification on that? So when HSTAB was reviewing this, were they looking at an asphalt roof on the Cabana?
They were looking at the asphalt, not the red cedar. It sounds like that's been a recent change, Joe.
Yes.
Yeah. So they are, they were assuming this was going to be changed to asphalt. They'd rather obviously see it copper. My only comment would be on that is the main structure's roof cedar or
Okay, so
asphalt?
just to reiterate what Joe said earlier, is the first floor roofs, single story roofs, will be red cedar, and then they're going to keep the asphalt on the second floor roof. That's the program. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Not sure what their comments would be, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, just curious because, the change from asphalt to red cedar is definitely moving in the right direction. Okay, who would like to start on this one? Oh, by the way, I should clarify, Carrie, you're sitting on this one in the rotation, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Yep.
I'll go.
All right, John, go ahead.
Thank you. On the east elevation, all right, there's a setback door on the right to a 20 light Dutch door. Although there's two doors on the same side, but it's set back. But I think it ought to be changed and do away with the Dutch door and put a regular six light window door there if you want one, because you got one in the front that's 4-panel. And my other comment was the on the left side of the east elevation is the special carving that's on there. It's over the right there, that one there. Caracciolo Capolo. That's the there's one existing now on the, I believe, on the left side. On the front. Yeah, right there. I don't know how it got approved, but anyway, I think you ought to make that back one so it's different, and it's not a front door, it's a back door for any delivery men. You ought to put that regular 45-degree angle on the support. Those are my comments, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, John, thank you very much. Diane, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
The support of the porch, if it's already existing, I think it should stay. I don't think we should change it. What year is this house?
What was that, Diane?
I don't know.
1803, Diane.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. I think the bracket should stay, and the facade, the front facade is fine, perfect. The other, I've got the certificate of appropriate there. We don't need that. If you do a 20 light Dutch door and 3, 6, that's a 12 on a 20 light. Is the whole thing glass and it splits? I've never seen, I don't think, a 20 light Dutch door. I think I don't know, but if you're going to do a Dutch door, I think it should look like the Dutch doors that are around with the panes on top and the solid panel below, rather than having a full 20 pane door in that area.
Kathy, who's guiding the thing?
Mr. Chair, I am.
Holly is.
Diane, that's a really good question. So are we talking about, okay, it says change to a 20 light Dutch door, but that's only a 12 light Dutch door. Drawn.
Right.
Which is, that works, but if that went to Joe, are you there? Oh no. Don't, did we lose Joe? Joe? See, I think,
If you look at the south elevation, it shows the 20 light.
south elevation.
Right.
Okay, so we're not
I've
talking,
only got the east elevation. I haven't seen anybody else, any other.
And he just
So,
doesn't have it the same.
okay,
20 light.
yeah, wow, all right, got it. Yeah.
Like the greater light.
Does
Don't
it
they have a
have
door
one?
like that?
Does it have one of those?
Something like that.
Oh, little tiny panes.
Yes.
So the
I don't
note on
know.
the
I
front
just assume
elevation.
go with one. If he wants to have a Dutch door, I just assume go with the regular sized panels and not particularly do that 20 pane, but that's just my thought. On the south elevation, I believe it'll be hard to see because this is 19 and the south elevation is going to be tucked in between houses on both sides. But it is not unacceptable. I don't see anything at this moment that is not something that would go. So I'll hold on. That's what I'll say for now. If there's something else comes up as I look at it, I'll let you know, okay?
Okay, thanks. Wow, I just got a text from Joe saying his Comcast is down. So I think that we'll just have to give our impressions and then have him catch up with Kathy tomorrow. Thank you, Diane. How about Val?
I'm okay with the changes as proposed. I find this house so fascinating, especially the pictures showing like all the skylights and the clear story that nobody's ever seen that was there. I think what he's changing is appropriate, and I like the idea of the 20 paned little Dutch door because I think it's more complementary to the pane pattern in the windows, and I know that I've seen them around. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you. Carrie?
Yeah, I think all these additions are pretty seamless. And I agree with Val. I do think on the front elevation, it would probably stay to a 12 light, which it's just that the notes don't match the drawing. And I think if the drawing stays as a 12 light on that rear door back there under that little porch roof, I think that would be good. And I also, I think the curly Q detail on the roof is fine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm good with this. I know it seems crazy to do a 20 light Dutch door, but if the panes are small enough, it will be just like any other Dutch door, just with much smaller panes. Agree on what is the front elevation here? If you scroll, oh, it's east, yeah. So agree with the idea, keeping that to 12. Now, one thing, if we make, whoever makes a motion on this should be clear on one thing, and that is a lot of these notes aren't accurate, or at least a few that I've seen. So one is saying change to asphalt. Well, that should be changed to red cedar, which I think is, I get, like, I would love for it to be copper, but I know it's a cost consideration, so I'm okay with red cedar. And then the idea that it's really a 12 light door on the front, so that note needs to be changed from 20 light to 12 light, just so that we're not, so that it's consistent. But otherwise I'm okay. I do know this house and I have seen those skylights and everything, and to see them all going away is really, really good for the people, particularly who live up on the bluff and looking right down on this building. It's going to be a welcome change. So can I have a motion of some kind?
How about if we made a motion that said except to put in as submitted with the notes brought up to date. Would that
That
be
sounds-
enough to cover fixing all
Yeah,
those?
that should cover us because, you know,
Notes.
the record will show. And Joe texted me again to say he trusts what we're doing and he'll find out tomorrow. So Diane has made a motion to approve this application, but to have the verbiage correspond with the, what was presented tonight, meaning the red cedar roof and the 20 to 12 light door. So that it's all consistent. That's Diane's motion. So on the motion, Val,
Aye.
thank you, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, John.
No,
No, Diane.
Aye.
Okay, and I'm in favor, so that motion carries 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Thank you very much. Joseph in absentia. So now we're going to go to 9 Canterbury. 3 applications here. And so Stephen, are you still with us?
I'm here.
All right. So, and
Hello, Mr. Chair. We're here from workshop.
howdy.
Hi.
Okay, what you doing out at Canterbury?
So these 3 sequential applications are for a house, a 2-bay garage with a studio upstairs and a little shed, all at number 9 Canterbury Lane. The house is a model which this board has approved previously and recently. The garage is oriented so that its garage doors do not face towards the street, and the lower side of its mass, you know, are oriented toward the street to reduce the apparent massing of the structure, and the shed is way in the back. The colors for all 3 buildings are Quaker gray sashes with natural trim. And everything's pretty low. The house is only 28 feet, the garage 22, and the shed 14. I believe that this landscape plan and the pool have already been viewed and approved at the HDC. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. The Wisconsin Advisory Board had some comments, I know, but I think they were minor. Holly probably has those.
Now that you've given us the overview, let's, we're going to focus on the house, right? Because that's your first application. And so anything, well, you already said that it's a model that we've already approved. So let's take a look at the elevations. In the meantime, Holly, do you want to bring us up to speed on Wisconsin Advisory, please? Oh yeah, this is very familiar.
I just one more note on the house. I mean, it's intended to be sort of long and low with that front porch, bringing it down even lower. Even though the address is a 9 Canterbury Lane, the front door actually faces towards Sleetwing Circle. So that the smaller lower side of the house faces Canterbury to minimize its presence even more on Canterbury Lane. And it's a 10.5 on 12 pitch roof to bring it down even more.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Hang on a second, John. Holly?
I'd like to make a point of order.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You want it blown up, right?
Yeah, before any action is taken on this application.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to refer back to the previous one. And I voted no. I'm going to change my vote to a yes before any more action is done on it. Thank you.
Okay.
It's done by procedure. Thank you.
All right. So just to be clear on that, it has nothing to do with the current application, but Terry, I know you're listening. Could you just have the record reflect that John has changed his vote from a nay to a yay on the previous application, which was Joe Topham's project at 19 Union? That means that the motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, so now, thank you, John. Now I want to hear from Holly, Wisconsin Advisory.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Wisconsin Advisory took a look at this and unfortunately, I don't believe I was at that meeting because I do not have this information. So I apologize to the board and the commission. I have nothing to provide unless the applicant remembers.
Well,
Sorry.
You know, I think everyone who's sat on the previous applications out here will immediately recognize this building. You know, it's basically, I think, a carbon copy of the last one. So whatever comments applied there would apply here. So I think that's all.
There's a
Anyway.
little bit of a simplified trim package here, Ray.
Oh.
And some of the detailing's different just so that they're distinguished from each other. But yeah, it's otherwise the same mass,
Okay.
the same home you're familiar with.
Very, very familiar. Okay, thank you. Who would like to start?
I will.
Thank you.
I believe by and large, we were okay with this. And I remember one of the main issues was the front door. Just that it was unusual as a batten with side lights, and I don't know what the result, I can't remember what the result of that was. And I think that was a Sconset comment, but the massing and everything about it is fine. It's simple. It's a cute little building.
Okay. Thank you. Diane, you ready?
Yep, I think it is with the change of the front door. Whatever we did before, I think it was changed to a regular 4-panel with glass and the side lights being blocked off halfway up. I think I don't have the papers, but anyway, other than that, I think it will fit in. I'm glad to see a small building on Canterbury. I think it will be good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. John.
Yes, sir. Thank you. On the north elevation, I believe that there's a French door with side lights. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, it's a little better. Yeah. It doesn't make sense the way it's looking with the side lights. It's got a storm door there.
Well, that's actually the door. That's like a batten door, John. Or a V-groove door.
Yep, it's a V-groove door.
Yeah. Because I have had the same thing in my house, but I don't have the side lights. Okay. I just wasn't sure what it was. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
No need to thank me, Mr. Chair.
Who's thanking John?
I know. I think it's.
Thank you. Stephen.
Got it. There was a pause there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as proposed. I think, the door, I've been walking around in town and noticing there's quite a few doors that aren't 6-panel doors. So I know we try to stick to that, but every door being a 6-panel is like every house having gray shingles taken to the extreme. So I'm good with it as proposed. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. It gives me sort of a fresh view of this door here. I guess I'm okay with the door. It's a little atypical, but yeah, I'm okay. Somebody want to make a motion on this one of any
Motion
kind?
to approve is submitted.
Okay, let's see how that goes. So on Stephen's motion, Diane?
I guess so. The door really disturbs me, but the rest of the building is good. So I will say aye.
Okay, thank you. Val?
Aye.
All right, John?
Aye.
All right, Stephen?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. That motion carries.
Right.
All right. Next up, garage.
Okay, so we already gave a little primer on this building, but Holly, if you don't mind going to the elevation. This garage is a 2-bay garage with a little studio above. The secondary bay is intentionally low and oriented with its side towards the street on Sleetwing so that its apparent mass is lower than having the whole thing oriented towards the street. Again, it's also Quaker gray sashes with natural trim. And we tried to hold it as low as possible at about 22 feet. That's it.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yep.
who would like to begin on this one? Oh, well, I should just ask for the sake of it. Holly, any?
Unfortunately, this was a meeting I was not at,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
didn't get to watch it. So my apologies to Sconce Advisory and the commission.
All right, thank you. Board members, go ahead.
I think
I'll
it's
do it. Whatever.
appropriate.
All right, so John, you were going to say something. I heard what you said, Val. I'll get back to you in a second. John?
Okay, you ready for comment?
Yeah, go ahead, it's you.
Thank you. All right, could we go to the, well, I can't see what it is.
You want to scroll down?
East, could you go to the south elevation?
Okay, that's, you want to go to the right. Yeah, there you go, and up. There you go.
Okay, that door right there, south elevation, yes. That should be converted to a different type of door, a panel door. Instead of that, all that glass, that should be changed if it's visible. Thank you. That's my comment.
Okay, I'm going to check the visibility on that in a second, but Val, it sounded like you said you were okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
All right, thanks. Diane?
I'm okay.
All right, very good. Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I think anywhere but this location or in a location where the wind is really howling up off the ocean there, I would suggest that shed mass, the roof go to a 412 and be lower on the, that, and then on the next, to the lower right, so that you break that roof plane. But I think it's fine as it's proposed for that location. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks. Let me just look, can we go to the site plan just for a second?
That French door faces the rear of the property towards the house. And it's also the only way to bring natural light into that vestibule space.
Okay,
As a
so
glass
hey,
door.
John, see that, Holly, was that you with the cursor? So John, the door that you were talking about is right there on the side of the building facing the house. I don't think you're going to see it. It's inside the property.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm missing that there. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, so I think we can get a motion on this guy.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Sounds good. Thank you. On that motion, John.
Aye.
All right, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Stephen.
Aye.
Very good. Val.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. That motion carries. What do we get? What else we got here? Rooftop. Oh no, I'm sorry. Shed. I was getting ahead of myself there.
Yep. So yeah, the shed is fairly straightforward. It's way at the back of the property. It has a sort of a solid bifold door that's going to be used for seasonal storage to put big things in there. It's pretty low, and again, it's Quaker gray and natural, so it's a pretty harmless building at the back of the property.
I'll go, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Oh, okay. I like that. Let's just give it a try. So Stephen has made a motion to approve this cute little building. On that motion, Diane. You there, Diane?
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you. Okay, Val?
Aye.
John?
Would you bring up the north side, please? Yes.
There it is. Up. There it is, right there.
What kind of doors are them, or whether you go four?
Those are those V-groove doors.
Yep, and they're natural cedar. They're natural cedar.
Okay, thank you.
So are you okay with the motion, John, to approve?
I'm in favor.
All right, great. And Stephen made the motion, so are you in favor of your motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, so am I. So that motion carries unanimously. Thank
you,
you.
everybody. Have a good night.
And let's jump now to 2 Eldridge Lane Solar.
Yes,
And
hi.
Hi there, and this is going to be Carrie.
This is Deirdre from Freedom Forever Solar.
Okay, very good.
How are you tonight?
Fine. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
Good.
But I made it tonight.
Okay, so let's, those things on the roof, is that already solar or is that like a rendering? What is that?
That was my attempt to give you an elevation rendering type of a drawing. Facing, I hope I'm doing this right. Do I have can you see what I'm scrolling through?
No.
Well, no,
No.
see, I think right at the moment, we're in charge of the screen. So
Oh, okay.
Holly is.
That works for me. Ah, there we go. Sorry. Yep, so what we're proposing to do is install obviously roof mounted PV solar panels. There's a total of 18 panels on this project that would be mounted onto one roof array on the southwest facing roof, and which is actually at the back of the house.
Well, that's the important part for us. So you just showed us that rendering that was taken from the backyard, right?
Yes.
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 So now we see Eldridge Lane up at the top. Okay. So obviously this is on the roof plane that faces away from Eldridge, but are there any other streets or public ways around the back that we need to know about?
There is, I think is it Meeting House? Yes. So you can kind of see the house from Meeting House Lane, where you kind of do see the little bit of the backside.
Are you able to see what we're seeing on the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You see the red Jeep there, right?
Yes.
Here's your house in the background.
Correct.
Now,
Yep.
so they're going on that roof plane that faces Meeting House, correct?
Yes, it's the one that, not that very first roof line you see, but the one behind it.
Yeah, the main roof.
The main house roof line, yes.
And it looks like there's a skylight on that roof already.
I think there is one on the smaller roof plane to the right hand side of that picture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that I believe this is in Sconset's.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Sconset did take a look at this.
Hang on one second. So have you completed your presentation? It's pretty straightforward what you're asking.
Pretty straightforward, I think. Sure. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to hear from Sconset Advisory on this. So go ahead, Holly.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So first off, this structure is 1971. And one of the overall comments was the visibility from Meeting House Lane, because this photograph really doesn't depict. You can tell that there's some trees from here. So that was the overall comment. Other than that, it's not offensive. They had no concerns on it. I will tell you that the chair.
Holly.
I'm sorry?
So there's tons. Okay, so here's the picture that shows like basically Meeting House looking straight back at the house, right?
Yes, these photos have been provided by the chair of Sconset Advisory, sent them to me after our meeting, which was very nice.
Yeah.
So this gives you a glimpse into the property from Meeting House Road for visibility.
Okay, but the first photograph that I saw that's looking over the neighbor's property, I believe you would be able to see him, right?
The one that was provided in the application?
I think the picture was taken at a kind of a high level. If you're on the street, I don't think your view would be quite the same, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to be clear. So, all right. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
All right. Who wants to begin on this one?
I'll go first.
All right, John.
Thank you. I think visibility or not, its location where it is proposed is a perfect spot for it. And it's outside the old HDC, and I think it should be approved. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
John. Let's see, Val, you ready?
Yeah, I appreciate it's the back of the building. It's unfortunate, the roof shingle color. But I was wondering if perhaps the lower row the panels could go on the connector mast to the garage. I think it's a garage, as opposed to down on that lower roof right over the bay window. It'd be less visible.
Yeah, I could inquire about that, sure. I can certainly do that. I can ask the design team if that's a possibility. I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it being a problem.
Let's, all right, so that was Val. You finished, right, Val?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna go from edge to edge, hopefully, and you know,
there is a setback that we allow for. Sorry.
We like them to go from edge to edge just so that it's a cleaner look and it's
Oh,
not
sure.
visually distracting. So that's my comments, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Thank you. Diane, how about you?
I would like to see it drop down to the lower roof. I think you can put up some vegetation that will work as you drive by. It should be completely fill the roof, as we have said in our new way of doing solar panels. I think it's important because everywhere you see the roof that is under surveillance. So I think we have to do these pine trees. I can't tell if they're all pine trees. They don't look terribly healthy, or and they don't look like they're doing much to block the view. If some more vegetation was put there and it's facing a southwest corner, I don't think it would be a problem. And particularly if you put it on the lower roof, which is harder to see. So that's what I would propose. I would not propose to put them on the upper roof.
Well,
because as far as I can see from the pictures offered, that it is Meeting House Road is a road. It can't be ignored as not a public way. It is a public way. So following our rules, we have to think about it.
the only thing.
What I think.
Hang on. We're just going to let the board members talk. And
Gotcha. Sorry.
Don't worry. Okay, Diane, have you finished?
Yep.
Okay.
For now.
All right. Thank you, Carrie.
I agree with Diane. I think they should all be on the lower roofs because the upper roof seems more visible because of the gambrel low pitch. And if they can be put on the connector, as Val said, I think that would be ideal.
Okay.
It seems like 8 might fit on the connector, and then all the others on the upper roof, if they go vertically instead of horizontally, you might just fill that whole lower roof.
Correct. Okay, so I'm just going to sum up. So there's a couple of things that the board has made by way of suggestion. One is to put it on the lower roof, or at least some of it on the lower roof plane. And the other one is, I think, a relatively simple remedy, which is where we can have full visibility of the roof where you're proposing to put the panels from Meeting House. Put in screening, some kind of evergreen screening along the lines of what you already have. But as Diane said, the lower branches of the spruce or whatever those are that are growing along the road are sort of bare. So that might need to be supplemented. And also that view across the neighbor's property to the roof. So those are the couple of things that you might want to look into.
Okay.
But for the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to hold this for some revision so that you have time to think about what you might want to do. So can somebody give me a motion on this one?
Motion to hold for revisions.
I'll make a.
Oh, sorry, Val beat you. So Diane, are you okay with Val's motion to hold? You there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes.
John?
Thank you.
Thank you. John? Uh,
Oh, stop. Sorry.
okay, Carrie.
Aye.
All right. Val,
Aye.
John. Okay, and I'm in favor. Gosh. Is John still with us?
Mr. Chairman, would you?
Oh, there you are. Hey, John, we're in the middle of a vote just to hold for some revisions. Are you okay with that?
No, the motion, what was the motion, please?
The motion was to hold for some revisions.
Hold for revision. No.
We just want more screening or something.
I think it's appropriate, so I'll sustain.
You're going to abstain from the motion? Okay, so the motion carries 4 in favor, 1 abstention. All right, so if you're still there, we'll see you next time. All right, so now we're on to 30. Good night. We're at the
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. 30 Devon Street. And now this is back to Stephen.
Hello.
Howdy.
So we were already here with the main house and the guest house. So this is part of the whole the 30 Devon Street lot. Now another structure is the garage, right?
Right.
So it's a garage. It's a 20 by 22 feet, 440 square feet ground cover. Garage on the first floor and a little studio on the second floor with a separate access with the back deck.
What are the colors on this, Uri?
The colors like matching everything else, black windows and gray trim.
Okay, thank you.
And the roof is cedar.
Very good. Anything else to say?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, let's see what the board has to say about it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did the main house ever get approved?
Not yet. No.
Right, because it was large, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, we're up for revisions and we submitted revisions already.
Okay, so I guess I appreciate the scale of this. I'm just struggling with approving it without having the main house approved.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if we should really discuss it or.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
and the garage door is too big.
She said the garage doors are
Too big.
Oh, too big. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's like a big double garage door.
It's a double door, yeah.
How tall is the building?
22 feet. Isn't that what you said? Yeah, 22 feet. So it's actually, modest height. But you want to continue, Diane?
No, I don't have any problem with this front door. It would be good, I don't know, to break it down to fit more fitting in out there on Tom Nevers. But the only thing I would like to look at a little longer is the staircase coming down from the second floor. Whether it's out, if I could get the west or the east elevation, it'll say how far the stairs are out.
Can we go to the east? Keep going. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, the stairs are close.
The stairs are next to the building, yeah, right on the wall, and they are like 3'6" wide.
Right.
Right. So I don't see there's much wrong coming in at 22 feet. That's fine. I just don't know, as Val mentioned, as to approving this when the main house isn't approved, because this doesn't have a lot of architectural design that the main house might carry or not. It would be nice to know what the other one looks like, what the main house looks like.
All right. Thanks. Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I think it's fine. The garage door is atypical, rather large, but it's not, it's located pretty deeply into the site. And I would normally agree with respect to tracking, but it's such a, I mean, it's a nice design, relatively nondescript. Images of the proposed primary dwelling are in the pictures. And it's on the applicant. If we make changes to the house and they aren't reflected in the garage, he'll have to come back. So I'm good with it.
Good point. Thank you. John?
It's the, where do I see? No, next elevation. Right there. Yeah, north elevation. All right. I think that's a little 10 feet out. It could be. I don't know. How far is that deck out away from the wall?
The deck is 8 feet.
I'm sorry?
8 feet.
8 feet out.
It should be 8.
Number, John.
It's not more than 8 feet for sure. It's 8 feet.
That's 8 feet?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, I think it's fine. The garage. I'm for it.
Okay. Yeah, I am too, like, the fact that it's 22 feet high, I get that we haven't approved the main house. But like, this is a very simple building. And I'd rather frankly, just sort of move it off, get it approved, because there's really, other than the wide garage door, but I don't think that's going to have a tremendous amount of visibility. And there are wide garage doors around, so that, doesn't really, it's not a deal breaker for me. So
What color is the door?
Good question.
Good question.
Yeah, we went with all black doors, black windows, but we can
black?
make it. Actually, I think I went with
Black.
natural door.
No,
Wait, what did you just say, Uri?
I said it should be natural. The
It
door
should be
probably
natural. Yeah, it
But
should be
I
natural.
don't know if I mentioned that in the application.
Well, let's see.
It says
there's
black.
Doors
overhead wood.
black. Yeah, so to be clear, we should, if we do anything with this, it should include natural garage door as opposed to black.
Yeah,
So
garage
moved.
door says wood, but yeah, we can add the natural. Yeah.
All right, so Stephen has actually just made a motion to approve this on a condition that the garage door be natural to weather wood. So on that motion, Diane.
Aye.
Okay, Val.
Aye.
Okay, John.
Aye.
All right, Stephen.
Aye.
Okay, and I guess I'll be in favor too. So that motion carries. There you go. One less we have to review again. And now you have a Cabana outdoor shower pergola deal.
Yeah, so this one probably should be tracked with the main house, right? Because that's what we just discussed.
It looks a little bit more complicated,
Yeah.
honestly, just from the site plan itself.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, kids, why don't we move to track this with the main house? I think your eye's amenable to that.
So moved.
All right, thanks. So on that,
No move.
I'm going to take Diane's. So Stephen, on Diane's motion.
I'm good with it.
Okay, great. So Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
very good. And Diane on your motion.
Aye.
All right, and I'm in favor. So you or I will see you next time on that one. All
thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, now we're at 16 Helen's rooftop solar. And this one is going to be Carrie.
Good evening, everyone.
Aye.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
Just fine, Tim. Thank you.
Great. So we're proposing 34 panels here to the south elevations. It's actually a new house that's being constructed on the property.
Okay.
The existing structure is being moved to the northeast of the property. You can see there, we've got it labeled cottage. The southern elevations do not face Helen's Drive.
Correct.
And as you'll see from the pictures, the property is very well screened.
Hey, I got a really small question for you.
This is
So
the front.
the blue outline of your property there has that, yeah, the little triangle, but then your site plan just shows it as sort of a curve. So which one is correct, Tim?
Well, the one on the left is coming off of map Geo.
Okay, so that, then the one on the right is probably the
I
survey.
bu-
is, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I would trust the one on the right before I trust the one on the left.
All right. Thank you. What's the roof color?
Grayish.
What's
And
that
it's the
supposed to mean?
front.
I'm sorry, Val.
It's the front, and this doesn't show where
It's
the
on the front of the
driveway
house.
is.
So the driveway is, if you see that picture,
They were changing the driveway from existing.
that is possible, Val.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of critical information because that would, the heavy vegetation that you're referring to, which is obvious from the aerial photo, might be compromised if there's a drive running in there somewhere. Right, Val? Isn't that where you're going with that?
Well, yeah, I remember it was quite a few times this house came in because it's very unusual. And I know that part of it was due to them changing the driveway. So it would be reassuring to see where the driveway is to confirm lack of visibility before we comment.
Okay. So that's what you're after.
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So how about you, Diane?
No, I think we should look at it. I think we should look at it from what you can see from my Comet Road or avenue that goes down there on the front side of Helen's Drive. They connect, and this property is probably the largest one there. So,
Mr. Chair, I do have the site map showing that the driveway is actually coming in from the north.
The north. Okay.
Coming in from the north. Yep.
All right.
So it's going to be coming in right where you see the line crossing. No, even further up from that. It's actually coming in to down the side there. Exactly, way up there, where that hand is.
At the northwest.
So it's going to northwest corner of the property is where the driveway is coming in.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, right there.
Correct.
So let's see if Diane has finished her comments. Have you finished, Diane?
no, I think we should take a view of it and see what is up and how it works, because Helen's Drive ends. So you have to turn around and go back. It's not they're feeding through and they're not going to see it. I think we have to look with a view as to where it's going to show.
Okay, that sounds good. John?
What is the motion, please?
No, there is no motion yet. We're just commenting on this application. So do you have any comments on the solar array?
All right, if I'm not reading that. If that's a motion to approve, I'll vote yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we haven't gotten that far, nor do I think we will tonight anyway. So thank you, John. Stephen?
You're welcome.
Wait,
I
is it
didn't-
Stephen or Carrie?
I didn't realize I don't think I'm on this
No,
one.
no, you're
I
not.
think it was
I'm
me.
sorry.
Sorry.
My mistake, Carrie.
Yeah, I just think we should view too.
Okay, so that seems to be the consensus view. So why don't we move that one?
I make a motion to put on the view.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. So Diane's made a motion to view. Val?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Thank you, Diane.
Aye.
And I'm in favor of that motion, carries. So we'll view that and get back to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, next up, 14 Harbor View. Carrie needs to.
Oh,
this
yeah, that's
one.
Luke. Let me go tell him he's up.
Okay,
And it's me and Luke.
Say what?
It's Linda and Luke.
It's you and, oh, I see. Oh, Linda Williams.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, okay, so, but Stephen's on it anyway. So Linda, do you want to go first or Luke?
Sure, I'll go first.
Go.
We need the whole thing put up on the screen though.
Coming.
Holly's muted.
She can hear us though.
Not this particular packet, Holly. Put the one up, the middle one. Harborview Way. Okay, I can't control the screen because I can barely control my own screen. This is the house.
Yes.
We are adding an addition to the left where that little deck is. The deck's going to stay on the back.
Okay.
We're enlarging the dormers and we're putting a deck over the front of the house, which apparently was approved. Luke has it, was apparently approved in 2002. They just never built it. The family just kept it the way. This is Jerry Stiller's house. This is Stiller and Mara's house.
Oh, yeah.
Very little is happening on this side. We can keep going until we get to the other examples. This is one of the ones that has had the least done to it of the other four. There's been another house constructed in between on a subdivided lot, and then there's been an awful lot done. Everybody's aware of what was done at the other end of Harborview when Steve Cheney's project down at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the rear. The addition would go to the right. We do have a dormer on the top. One of those chimneys is not original. We're going to keep one. Put a dormer and a roof walk up there. And this is the cottage in the back. We're not doing anything to the cottage.
Okay.
This is I did hand deliver all these packets so everybody had a chance to take a look at them. If you didn't, you still have them. I hope you still have them because they were quite thick. There was nothing down there in 1880. And you can see the Nantucket Hotel with the Dreamland in the middle of the hotel. It was floated over there, put there, and then floated back over to the Dreamland. Quite interesting. So there was nothing down here. So we keep going. Then they started to appear. This is 1900. You have those two. You have a big gap. Then you have one, and this structure is not there because you can see the Victorian structures to the right where the white elephant, they took those down. They were beautiful structures. They took them down and put the white elephant over there to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. What year is this one? Then you start seeing them. Yep. You see the first two or three, that one is still not there. So keep going. On the left, you can see them over here. There's one on the very far left over the top of the carriage, and then that's still not there. And the right, that tall Victorian is where the white elephant is to the right, over the guy driving the buggy.
Right.
That was torn down. There were two Victorians torn down, and here's in 1920, and you can see that this is still not there, but the white elephant is taking shape. That structure on the left is still there. So they just put them up as they went along here. 1927, on the right, it's still not there. You can see the first two are there. Keep going. 1930, here we go. The white elephant is now expanding, and there is the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. All five are present. Pretty simple structures. They're pretty much rectangular. And then you go to this one again. You can see them all lined up here. 1930s, 2, 4, and 8 Harborview. Yeah, they're pretty much the same. Still haven't changed much here in the 1930s. Things started to happen in the 1950s. 1940, pretty much the same. Here we go. They're beginning to add to them and do things to them and fill in pieces. And there we are on the right, still pretty much the same. They didn't have the dormers then. The house on the left was demolished recently in our time period. 1968 is below it. There we are in the corner right there. Going. White elephant's now beginning to expand. They took those little cottages on the right out, and then they expanded the whole white elephant there and built the pier out. Okay, 1968, there we are, still fairly simple. 1983, that's when we start to see a lot of changes. There was an infill building, another dormer, that little building right there in the middle between those two was removed and another building placed there. We're still over here on the right, and the dormers have been constructed at that point. This is number 2 Harbor View.
Right.
I researched all of these and there were a lot of renovations. You know, this house was picked up, put back down, the deck was added, the porch was changed. A lot of this structure was changed. Paint color was changed, the windows and the doors, because I was involved in the early days of this particular structure. 4 is underneath this one. Want to keep going down. This was all redone. This was an open porch and filled in. The left second floor deck was added, and you can see on the right, there are 3 decks actually stacked on top of each other. This house was also picked up and put back down, and the roof walk was added. I want to keep going down.
Which building? It doesn't have a roof walk.
This one has a roof walk right there. This is the cottage that was stuck in between them that was added, I don't know, sometime more recently. That's 8 Harbor View Way. It didn't actually exist until they subdivided. This was the structure in 1970. Said to date from 1900, but that's incorrect. It dates between 1910 and 1920 because it was not there in 1920. That's it today. They have a little cottage in the back. The original cottage was taken out and that was added. The decks were added. The railing was changed. A lot of this has been changed. And that was picked up. This is gone. That's what the cottage was that was there. And it's gone. And now they have that. Isn't that special? 12 Harbor View Way right there. That's we're on the right here. This structure right here was removed entirely and a new structure built. But this is, I think, the last picture I have of that structure. It's on the right, and that little thing in the middle is gone. 1970. Yeah, there, and there we go. That's what's there now. The dormers we'd like to put on, yeah, it left in 1994, and this one was built. This is Colutz's house, for anybody who remembers that. Diane, you probably know that's Doug Colutz's dad. Those dormers, that dormer up there, that dormer up there on the second floor is bigger than the one we'd like to put on, but similar to what we'd like to put on so we can get third floor space, because a young family just bought it as an end user, and they and this cottage was added as an end user, and they'd like to have more space. It's a fairly large family. So I'm just giving you the context of how simple these structures were, and they are not simple now, because these are all the aerials, and here are the Sanborn maps. Safe Harbor's that one on the corner. And then you've got these guys, Tideway, and then the one next to us was removed. There's Safe Harbor again. So these are all we can find on the Sanborn maps here. And then here we go. This was 1949, simple, 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 and B was removed entirely. And here we are on the very end on the right with our little cottage in the back. So the reason I'm giving you the context of this, and there was a whole nother packet explaining the area context. We're right next to the White Elephant, obviously, with third floor dormers everywhere and roof walks sitting on top of dormers. I've done, as you know, Ray, I've done a survey down on the Grant Point area of all the wackadoodle roof walks we have down there, sitting on dormers, a lot of them. And so that we just wanted to give you context of the area. So what we're doing is not so crazed, because there have been additions to every single one of those structures down there, and roof walk sitting on top of dormers all over Grant Point. It's sort of a unique Grant Point thing for some reason. Strange dormers on things. There are several one-story structures.
I'm trying to anticipate what the proposal is, given all the
proposal is basically, in a nutshell, pick it up, get it out of the floodplain, add an addition, which will have to be on piers, but add an addition, add the roof walk, and enlarge the dormers. That's pretty much this, and put the deck on that was approved in 2002 over the main mass, over that porch. HSAB had some interesting comments about, they didn't like the deck on the left on the addition facing Children's Beach. They thought that the pitch on the front porch could be made steeper, so it would cover more of that deck over that porch on the main mass. Those are pretty much the biggest issues for them.
Well, we're going to hear from Holly anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna hear from Holly.
No,
I can go to Luke now to explain
yeah,
more in
so
detail what they're doing.
walk through the actual revisions to the current building. Luke, hit it.
Okay, thank you. Well, if we look at the south elevation, you'll see that we have the proposed on the right and the existing on the left for easy reference. And generally, the paint colors are all changing to white. We are lifting the house up 1 foot. I think the engineer has provided a supplemental document to support why we're doing that. I think Linda submitted that.
Okay.
I know you guys like to know what the finished elevation is. But basically, to the south elevation, if you look at the front entrance, I tried to change it to give a more user-friendly staircase. Being the front door right now comes right up. There's no platform. I mean, the steps arrive at the door, which is pretty uncomfortable. So my thought was to maybe provide a little safer and maybe more graceful way to enter the front door. Above the front door, we're proposing a shed roof with a second floor deck, which was previously approved in 2002. And I thought I submitted that as supporting information, but I'm not positive. I can provide that to Kathy if need be. But it's pretty much exactly this. We thought we should stick with what was approved. We're adding above the front door again, one additional window above that second floor deck, flanked by 2 door sets coming from slightly reconfigured bedrooms. Above that, we have enlarged second floor dormers. The owner is trying to, as Linda indicated, trying to provide greater space up there. And we have the Widow's Walk, which we did our best to hold to a third, make it fit as comfortably as possible relative to the dormers and the massing in general. The dormers pretty much located the end posts. Otherwise, it seems visually more awkward to me. The left-hand side of the building is the addition, and we basically have just tried to copy all the details of the roof overhangs, rakes, and eaves. But we are proposing again another deck. That's the master bedroom up there now. That's pretty much it for the south elevation. We did remove 1 chimney. On the east elevation, you can see some of the reflected changes. I think it's more easy to understand what's happening. I'm going to bump us to the west, to the west elevation, which might help you more quickly understand what the addition's doing. So to understand the east elevation, actually. The west elevation, as you can see, basically emulates the existing details, and it aligns with the existing roof. And we just tried to keep it pretty simple, really. The north elevation above that, you can see the rear long shed dormers that the owner would like to have. Again, to make that attic area more accessible. We're showing on the right-hand side addition a pretty standard triple gang window dormer. That's basically, if you want to go back to the east elevation, there were not a lot of changes on the main mass, but you can see the impact of the dormers, I suppose, on the right-hand side. Those are to the rear of the property. So from a 2-dimensional standpoint, it doesn't look great, but that addition is shifted way back on the east elevation.
Okay.
I think that's it for me.
All right, very good. I think we got a good overview of everything. Thank you both. So I'm sure we have HSAB.
Yes, Mr. Chair, you have HSAB and staff comments. I don't need to go into the history of the structure, obviously. I think Linda did a really good job as always. This is a tribute to Gerald Stiller and Anne Mira House from circa 1930. I first want to mention that this is a prime candidate to really look at your proposed design guidelines for flooding adaptations. Making sure that it's compliant with the National Historic Landmark and the National Register District, and following National Park Service's recommendations, which our design guidelines have. With that said, just because the structural engineer indicates what the FEMA elevation would be for elevation, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the height that it needs to be. There's other mechanisms like wet flood proofing, dry flood proofing. It's all within the guidance. I really want you all to take a look at that, because at the end of the day, this structure still is going to need to go with their proposed height and require a special permit from the zoning bylaw. So I think with this being in the heart of our historic district, that needs to be taken into consideration. So I question that. I question why the existing basement, proposed basement, couldn't be utilized for flood adaptation. As far as HSAB's comments, they have a list of concerns. The front porch roof too steep, covers too much sidewall and doesn't match pitch of addition of shed roof. The new larger dormers on the third floor create too much mass at that level, start to look like a third-story building. Two light awning windows in third floor north dormer look modern. The south-facing shed dormer, in addition, is very plain and too much shingled wall. Triple windows, in addition, could be broken up to fill the space better. There is no precedent for two decks facing street on the street. Friendship steps are not appropriate for this style, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Are there AC units was a question. If building code does not require it to be raised, leave it as is. That could be done. Dormer facing north, in addition, is too large. Their recommendations are as follows. Change front porch roof to a 4-pitch. Keep original third floor dormers. Change 2 light awning windows to 4 or 6 light. Change south-facing dormer in addition to gable roof for more interest. Separate triple windows to fill wall better. Remove second floor deck on addition. Eliminate friendship stair by removing second stairway to front stoop. Show AC units and eliminate a window in the north-facing addition dormer or allow eave to run through. Obviously, having an addition onto a historic structure is not the first time. That's definitely not the issue. It's doing it appropriately so that our historic district can adapt to the obviously rising seas. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks, Holly. All right, folks, here it is. We don't have much time left. It's 5 of 9, but I would love to hear everyone's comments on this.
I'll go.
Yeah, that would be great, Val. Go ahead.
I actually had a lot of notes on the papers that Linda had given us because I've been looking at this that kind of reflect what HSAB said. The thing about the friendship stairs, if you could lop off one side, it would look more typical to the area. It seems as though everything over there kind of goes straight out, but I get why you can't because you're going to hit the street with the extra steps. I do think that the appearance of the addition deck, it looks so big compared to the main deck. And I think that has to do with the lower roof pitch. So I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that comment by HSAB because I think that the steeper pitch couches around the deck and sort of mitigates its impact.
Can I make an observation on that, Val?
What's that?
Can I make an observation?
Yeah.
I agree that the deck on the addition looks larger.
Yeah.
I think that's because the eave at the addition is lower than the eave at the main house or the main portion. So you see it sort of starts out lower, so more of it is exposed. If you assume that the floor level is the same height, which I'm sure it is.
It
You know
is.
what I'm saying? Anyway,
Yeah, but if you made that a steeper pitch, I think, I don't know, that's up to somebody else, but, and maybe it's because the dormer is wide and there's so much space on either side of the door that it seems a
Right.
little
Yeah.
bigger. So something with that could change.
Okay.
I do see that the dormers reflect what's next door, but what's different is the dormers next door don't face the street. So anything that could be done to make those slightly smaller somehow, and the pitch seems very shallow.
Okay.
I agree with the north awning windows on the third floor. That something about those seems very modern correctly. And then the only other concern I have, and I don't know how to answer this, is how we can figure out what the floor height should be. I know we have paperwork from Don Bracken, but I'm not quite sure how that works. They give us a level that the building has to come up to, but does it have to be a foot above it? Does it remain, even with it? And then talking about what Holly said, the wet proofing versus the dry proofing, I'm a little not clear on that. What we could ask them to do to not go as high. Anybody who can answer that, I'm open to suggestions.
well, actually, there is somebody that can answer that, and her name is Holly. I think Holly could address that. It's a fairly complicated issue, but so rather than get into that now, I do want to make sure that everyone is heard on this. So I'm going to ask.
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead, Diane, please.
I think this is an old building that's been down there. It's not a building that says, here I am, here I am. I think the Friendship chair stairs are inappropriate for this house. I think the number of windows and mold windows and windows that have never been there before are not what it is following in the growth of this house over the years. It needs to be made simpler. It wasn't a fancy house. Jerry Stiller's house was a neat, satisfying house that contributed to the way he and Anne lived. And this is what was important about it. It was dark color. And when you came around the corner, it just fit in with the rest of them. And I think that this is something we've been charged with. This is in the old historic district. And I think the old house has got to be respected, because otherwise they may get what they want, but we fail at our mission, which is to say to maintain these houses to the best of our ability and their ability. I think that it needs to be made simpler. Otherwise you shouldn't try and change it to the point where you destroy what you have. I would like to see over the point revisions, simplicity, mold windows removed, and was never regarded as you drove in Harborview Way as a 3-story building, and it shouldn't be now. So that's just my initial statements. I will have more to say when we're not trying to get done. Okay?
Okay. Thanks so much, Diane. John.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Due to the late hour, I will, at this time, recommend to you, if you'll accept it, is a motion to adjourn.
No, John, we can't do that right now. We need to finish up this application. So if you want to hold your comments, but we still need to hear from Stephen, and I have a few things that I'd like to say, and then we need to motion on this application that right now is open. Then I would accept your motion to adjourn.
All right, I'll withdraw the motion
Thank you.
and let you know that the tire's getting late and I have to.
No, I realize that you got to go. So we'll wrap this quickly. So Stephen, what are your thoughts on this?
It should be the last one, I hope.
Oh, it's the last application, definitely. Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I think we're all clear on what the mission of the HDC is. And clearly this is an historic structure and we want to be observing and protecting the integrity of that. On the south elevation in particular, I do think it would be appropriate to try and retain the existing dormers. I'm not adverse to the addition of the roof walk. I think the concept of changing over the existing hip roof porch may be acceptable, but I think it needs to be done in a manner that is more sensitive to this structure and the era. Mold units are existing on the structure. I don't think we should be dissuading them from using them.
Somebody needs.
It's Diane. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
On the south elevation, I think I'd suggest that the dormer, bury that header in the rim board so you can decrease the height of the eave to below the height of the eave of the existing structure. I think that will help to kind of diminish its presence, and it still would programmatically be effective. That sidewall railing needs to be looked at. And east elevation really
Very little happening on the east.
Yeah, the east really kind of brings me around to the north, where I think much of what's here is acceptable. Dormers are typical on the rear of the structures. The roof walk I've previously addressed. The addition, the comment on that, on the dormer on the front would be similar on the rear on the north elevation. And any of that would carry over onto the west. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Great. Thanks, Stephen. So for the sake of time and simplicity, I'm just going to say that I generally agree with all the comments that were made, including those made by HSAB. So obviously we're going to need a motion on this.
Motion to hold for revisions.
Thank you. On Stephen's motion, John?
Aye.
Thank you. Val?
Aye.
Diane?
She's muted.
Yeah, I'll go back to you, Stephen, for a sec.
Aye.
Oh, there's Diane. She said aye. And Stephen, you're in, right?
Yep, sir.
And so am I. So that motion carries unanimously. So that's that. The rest of this stuff, for those of you that are still hanging on there in the queue, it's Linda. It's going to be the Linda Williams show on Thursday.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I did, hold on. I just have one question on the other business thing. It says it references a Friday meeting at 1 p.m. What was that special meeting? I forgot.
That was for 27 North Liberty. They were doing a
Got it.
streetscape presentation.
No, I'm out of the loop on that one. I'm
right. You're not on that anyway.
I get it. Okay, thank you. All right. So, John, I think you were about to make a motion to adjourn, were you not?
Motion to adjourn, yes, sir.
All right, I like it. Thank you. Carrie gets to vote on this one. So, on that motion, Diane? Diane?
She's muted.
Aye. Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
all right, great. Val?
Aye.
Carrie, you still there? Probably not. Stephen?
Aye.
And John, on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Good night, everyone. Thank you
All
all.
right, thanks, everybody.
Read your design guidelines, please.
I'm
Send me
trying
comments.
trying to get there, Holly. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get there.
I
Okay.
Good night,
understand.
everybody.
Night,
See you
everyone.
Thursday.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
See you
John.
Thursday.
one quick comment.
Yep, go.
All right, when we started this meeting tonight, there was over 170 applications on file here to be done. And we done quite a bit tonight, but that's a heck of a lot to be backed up on because we have more
I
meetings.
know. I lose a lot of sleep over that one. Thank you, John. Good night.
Good night, you
everybody.
guys.